Morgantown, West Virginia. They've been lined up as early as before 5 a.m. to get into the ballpark as the Mountaineers try to punch their ticket to the College World Series for the first time, while Cal Poly needs a win to force a winner-take-all Game 3 here tomorrow. A look at this side of the bracket for the Super Regionals, and this winner will match up against the Trojans. We just don't know which Trojans they will play at the College World Series in Omaha, which begins June 12th. In a 14-hit attack for West Virginia, 7 extra base hits of the 14 against the Mustangs.
And they spread it out early and often. They will look to do the same against a very tough customer in big right-hander Carson Turnquist for Cal Poly.
The junior righty for the Mustangs has won each of his last 7 starts, and he is a flamethrower.
52 strikeouts in 39 2/3 innings. He is dynamite, a lot of good old number 1, and be ready because he is going to come after you every single pitch.
Game 2, locked and loaded. Carson Turnquist making the start to try to keep Cal Poly's season going. And there is no doubt who is in charge for the Mustangs today.
Oh, he got booed running out to the mound, but the junior 6'5" freight train from Paso Robles, California. Talked about it. It's going to be mid-90s heat. He's going to throw a lot of fastballs. He'll mix in the slider and the changeup. Mention the easy cheese. This is going to be great to see. It just comes out nice and firm. The pitch efficiency critical in the early innings here first time around.
The lineup for Steve Sabins and the Mountaineers was Sean Smith. The DH had a huge day in Game 1.
Unbelievable, right? The top 4 in this lineup have been the engine that has driven this West Virginia attack. They better be locked and loaded because it's pin your ears back time for Carson Turnquist. What a matchup we got here this afternoon.
Armani Guzman steps in to lead it off against the big righty for Cal Poly as Turnquist winds, and the first pitch of Game 2 is ball 1 at 95. Guzman 310. Was a force on the base pass yesterday at the plate. 1-1 is Turnquist again with 95.
Always going to be pumped up. We knew he was coming in with the weight of the program on his shoulders. A win to force Game 3 tomorrow. 7 straight starts Cal Poly has won with him on the mound.
2-1 the count on Guzman. 2 for 5 with a run and a double, and also stole a base yesterday. Riding a 6-game hitting streak. Honorable mention all Big 12 for Guzman. 5 multi-hit games in the last 6. Off the end of the bat, out of play. 2-2 on Guzman. He's a junior from New York. All these guys were in the lineup for West Virginia yesterday, although Steve Sabins moving them around defensively today. Fouled straight back.
How about it? Just a little throwback, right? How about 5 first pitch fastballs? Let's get it going. Here's good old number 1. Got a challenge early. The top of this lineup, again, that'll be one of the dynamics we watch. Can this West Virginia lineup handle the elevated velocity?
The 2-2. Another foul. That was the first off speed from Turnquist.
You'll see the changeup a lot to the left-handers. Again, a 191 average against. Carson Turnquist has handled both lefties and righties. He is a bit of a reverse splits guy, much more dominant to the left-handers, a .173 average against.
Again, the 2-2 pitch. And a full count on Armani Guzman.
There it is, 70% fastball, just straight challenge.
And a ground ball off the front foot of Guzman. And we'll do it again. A long battle going on here to lead off this ball game.
You can already tell the crowd into it big time. Carson Turnquist putting the glove over his ear to try and hear pitch com. Armani Guzman fouling that one off. Oof.
He needs a moment.
I'd be walking that one off too.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. to Guzman to lead off the ball game.
Already a win for Guzman to drive up the pitch count. Turnquist still trying to hear the signals.
In the air to center, playable for Casey Murray Jr. And that's how game 2 begins.
Well, you like it if you're West Virginia because you want to try and leverage Carson Turnquist to an elevated pitch count. Here's the problem. Turnquist has been an absolute horse. He had 5 straight games started before the LA Regional where he threw at least 100 pitches or more. So head coach Larry Lee not afraid to let his starters be out there for a while. Griffin Ness bounced early just because the West Virginia attack got to him, but expect a lot from Carson Turnquist this afternoon.
Now Gavin Kelly, first pitch, pop up to right toward foul ground, a long run for the right fielder Dylan Cordich, but it sails on that grassy hill down the right field side, out of play. 377 for Kelly, 16 homers, 56 batted in. First team all Big 12, second in the Big 12 in hitting. With that 377 average, 1 for 5 with a double yesterday.
One of the top draft prospects in 2027, mid-first round talent.
0-2 the count on Kelly. A 6-game hitting streak going and was the Morgantown Regional most outstanding player. And Kelly was 8 for 20 last weekend with 3 homers and drove in 8 in the regional.
Not a bad resume right there. First team all Big 12 after a Big 12 all freshman nod in 2025.
1-2 the count on Kelly. Steve Mattingly called the balls and strikes here in game 2. Travis Carlton, our umpire, at first. Brian Peterson at second, and Mike Lusky at third. Turnquist, the turn, and the 1-2 pitch. Way outside. 6'5" right-hander on the mound for Cal Poly.
For people that remember years ago, the big rotation with Rice gives you a little Jeff Neiman vibes. The big right arm, big fastball.
Line drive right center. And a base runner for the Mountaineers, a 1-out single by Gavin Kelly. And Kelly extends his hitting streak to 7 games. And now that'll bring up Paul Schoenfeld for West Virginia.
A good elevated fastball from Carson Turnquist. Just a better swing here from Gavin Kelly. Takes advantage of it, fights it off up the middle. And West Virginia, as the road team here in game 2, looking to try and get the early advantage for their Big 12 pitcher of the year in Max Yale.
Each of the first 2 hitters going back through the middle. 341 for Schoenfeld with 4 homers and 48 batted in. On the outside edge, 0 for 4 in game 1 with a run scored. Snapping a 6-game hitting streak for Schoenfeld, second team all Big 12 this year. Gavin Kelly, the runner at first. And the ball topped foul, and it's quickly 0-2 on Schoenfeld and the heroics last weekend in the Morgantown region.
One of the homers that'll be remembered in West Virginia lore. Sunday completing a 5-run top of the 9th inning. That the exclamation point. Your go-ahead, game-winning 2-run home run. An absolute bedlam of an atmosphere when he hit that one. I don't think anyone sat down for hours after he put West Virginia ahead for good to force game 7 on Monday night.
Short lead at first for Kelly. The 2-strike pitch. Strike 3 call right in there from Turnquist. 96 with the heater.
Good late life too, and that kind of locked up Paul Schoenfeld. And it feels like watching Turnquist, a bit of a throwback guy because it's a lot of challenge heaters. But that right there just exploded in the zone. Excellent pitch presentation by Ryan Taman, but that for sure caught the inside corner. Big out number 2.
Sean Smith, the DH. 321, 9 homers, including 1 yesterday. And strike 1 from Turnquist. 95 again from the righty. Runner goes. Popped up, right side. Behind first, Spiridonov going out, curling into foul ground and can't find it. And a break for West Virginia, a pop behind first that Gavin Spiridonov couldn't track down.
Something to watch here today. This is the first time in probably the last week and a half that we've had this kind of cloudy, overcast sky. Winds will be blowing out to left center field, about 20 to 22 miles an hour, gusting that way. And that is something to watch here. Extra opportunities, not being able to corral some of these fly balls in foul territory.
Right around 80 degrees here in Morgantown for game 2. Gavin Kelly at first. Turnquist, the 2-strike pitch, way outside. Yanks the fastball at 97.
You can tell he's pumped up. You love the energy, the adrenaline. He's harnessed it pretty well thus far, but already a mini win for West Virginia. Pitch number 21 coming from the big right-hander here in the first.
Just missed high. 2-2 the count, and you're seeing why Carson Turnquist is the #1 pitching prospect for the major league teams on this Cal Poly staff.
An induced vertical break at over 15, almost 16 inches, meaning it maintains plane, almost looks like it's rising.
Swing and a miss, pumped it by him. And Turnquist motions to the crowd here in Morgantown. 1 hit, 1 left, a couple of strikeouts for the flamethrower for Cal Poly.
Well, he's pumped up, ready to go. Big game pitcher, big time moment. Let's start with a flourish.
Well, the Mountaineers have the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year. Max Yale taking the hill, trying to punch their ticket to the College World Series.
No better guy you'd want to have if you're a Mountaineer fan. Last 7 starts, a .56 ERA. However, the home run has been something he has surrendered. Last 18 2/3, 5 homers, 6 hit by pitches, including 5 walks. He has punched out 22, so that command and composure are going to be paramount early in this one. And then Roxy, it's the road home. They know what's at stake. A win sends them to the College World Series.
Lineup for Larry Lee and the Cal Poly Mustangs, 39 wins this year. They went 22-8 in the Big West. Finished second to UC Santa Barbara. They won the Big West tournament for the 2nd consecutive year. And the co-Big West Player of the Year, Ryan Taman, cleanup batter, 18 homers this year, tying the single-season Cal Poly record.
And one of the best power bats in the nation. And head coach Larry Lee will hope that it is a dynamic start, that they can kind of turn the tables what West Virginia did to them yesterday in the first inning.
There is Larry Lee, father of a big leaguer, Brooks Lee, with the Minnesota Twins, 24th year as the head coach in San Luis Obispo. And on the other side for West Virginia, 2nd season as the head coach for Steve Sabins. 3rd straight year in the Supers for West Virginia, and CL delivers a strike to Nate Castellón. 11-game hitting streak for Castellón, first team All Big West, hitting .326. The big lefty, Max Yale. 0-2 the count.
So again, we kind of gave a little comp to Carson Turnquist, Jeff Neiman, for those that remember the big Rice right-hander years ago. You get a little Big Maple, little James Paxton.
Okay, I see
out of
it.
Max Yale here.
Yeah. Abbreviated windup. And the 2-strike pitch. And it's down and away, ball 1 to Castellón.
And Max Yale going to be primarily fastball, slider, and curve. He will mix in a change.
Here comes the 1-2. And a weak ground to short, charging it. Matt Einish on the move, slings it to first, off the glove of Armani Guzman. And Castellón is aboard and gives Cal Poly a start in the bottom of the 1st.
Well, unforced error. Matt Einish had time, make an accurate throw, and he's got an opportunity to retire Castellón pretty routinely. Again, Castellón is out of the box, running hard. You never know. That's why you run it out. Einish just airmails it. So an early break in favor for Cal Poly.
Now it's the all-time hits leader in Cal Poly history, Alejandro Garza, hitting .323. Yale Move to first, and lunging back is Castellón. Cal Poly does not run much. The Mustangs have only 23 steals all season. Leadoff error, Castellón at first. And the pitch to Garza. And that is just low for a ball. And it's 1-0 on Garza, 1 for 5 with an RBI yesterday. 3-time first team All Big West for Alejandro Garza.
And they call Peanut. And I can tell you this, nothing small about his arm at third base, what he showed yesterday defensively. I say premium defensive prospect, and again, had a couple of RBIs in the LA Regional, table setter for Larry Lee's lineup here at the top of the Cal Poly lineup.
His future might not be at third base, but with that arm, it gives you a question maybe, because he's 5'9", 165 pounds. Maybe a second baseman at the pro level, but with that arm, you may think about, okay, this guy might be able to play over there.
Good problem to have,
yes,
for a lot of pro organizations with what he can do there.
Two 2-0 on Garza.
And one of our headlines here for Max Yale: command and composure. Can you land the off speed if you fall behind early, dancing with some danger, knowing you have Kordich and Taman waiting in the wings?
Castellón the lead. And a ball lined out towards center. Paul Schoenfeld has a beat on it. And casually makes the catch, and Castellón back to first. 1 out in the Cal Poly half of the first inning. And now it's Dylan Kordich, the right fielder, who homered yesterday for the Mustangs.
What a breakout for Dylan Kordich, too. 0 for 15 with 6 strikeouts in the LA Regional. He made his presence known early in this affair yesterday. And for Max Yale, again, you look at his 2 appearances in the Morgantown Regional, could not get out of the first inning due to an arm injury. He would come back and start Game 7 on Monday. What will his leash look like on short rest?
Another move to first by Max Yale. Dylan Kordich, the hitter, 277, 10 homers. 2 for 4 in Game 1. And they have changed the ruling. Initially an error charged to Matt Einish on the throw. It's now an infield hit for Nate Castellón. And that one tied up. Kordich, a feeble swing, and it's strike 1.
And Max Yale also a reverse splits, as right-handers hitting just a .185, lefties hitting .278 on the year.
Move to first by Yale. And you mentioned last weekend, and what Yale did, the abbreviated start against Kentucky last Saturday, throwing 36 pitches, but did not get out of the first inning. Gave up the 4 unearned runs. Another move to first, and then started Monday, went 5, throwing 67 pitches against Kentucky. And he missed all of last season coming back from Tommy John.
Yeah, what was weird is, you know, they had to go get him, the training staff, and the fear was that, you know, the worst could happen. He would not be available for the rest of the regional. Mind you, they had to get to Monday for him to have an opportunity to pitch again. Came out with 5 sparkling innings to give them a chance to advance here to the Supers.
And that dramatic comeback last Sunday night gave them the opportunity to start Yale in Game 7.
This start to this game reminds me of what we saw on Saturday. A little erratic, trying to find the fastball command. It eluded him then. So far, it has here this afternoon.
3-1 the count on Kordich. And Yale was a reliever his first 2 years here at West Virginia, then missed all of last year, and moved into the rotation for the Mountaineers this year, leading the Big 12, 7th in the country with a 2.12 ERA. And Kordich out of play in a full count here with 1 out, and Castellón the runner at first.
I know it's only felt like 12 pitches so far, but it feels like he's had to work really hard. You mentioned missing 2025 with Tommy John. What a difference a year makes. Big 12 pitcher of the year here.
to the bag, Castellón. He does have 4 steals on the year, which is tied for the team lead.
I was just going to say, for a scouting report that tells you they're not going to be trying to take extra 90s, they're going to try and hit their way to home plate.
Ground ball right side and through, and Castellón on the move. He'll get around to third. And Dylan Kordich with his 3rd hit of the weekend. And Cal Poly's got runners to the corners with 1 out. And here comes the Co-Big West Player of the Year, Ryan Taman.
I'll be honest, I was not a fan of all the picking over. It takes your attention away from home plate. And Kordich, by virtue of that, gets a mistake to be able to drive to right field on the ground. And they're set up. 1st and 3rd, no better time to have your best hitter in Ryan Taman at the plate.
14-game hitting streak for Taman. And the junior 1 for 4 with a double yesterday. Yale, early trouble. And Taman in the air to right, going back on it is Ben Lumsden. Shy of the track, makes the catch, tagging. Castellón races home, and Cal Poly on the board first on a sac fly from Ryan Taman.
Great situational hitting, and a great job also by Garza taking the extra 90 there, coming around with the ground ball into the right field side. It's exactly what you need in an elimination scenario here for Cal Poly. Early lead for your big right-hander in Carson Turnquist, and a chance to add on as well.
Now it's Cam Hoyland, the DH, the senior, 6 homers, hitting .315. And he takes the breaking ball inside for a ball. Hoyland doubled yesterday, and he's got a 7-game hitting streak going. He has been a hot hitter the last 10 games. His average has jumped 32 points. He is 14 for his last 31. And he slams one the other way, out of play. And look out on the street with cars going by. He might take out a window.
Yeah, it's always something you're with how the topography of the stadium is here. Innocent bystanders beware.
1-1 on Hoyland. Shift on defensively for the Mountaineers. And Hoyland off to the netting, and it drops down near the Cal Poly dugout. 1-2 on Cam Hoyland. When the Mustangs score first, they have the worst record in the Supers, 21-10. Did he go? No on appeal, says Mike Lusky down to third.
It did not look like Cam Hoyland was interested in that. Good job of holding it up. Take another look at it.
Good call. 2-2 on Hoyland. The pitch. And that one hit him. Got him on the elbow, and a breaking ball that gets away from Yale, and there's 2 on for the Mustangs. Now Hoyland didn't look like he made much of an effort to get out of the way.
Well, I don't blame him. Hey, you look at where the command has been an issue, not only today for Max Yale, but his breaking ball has been nowhere close as far as consistency. Mentioned off the top, last 18 2/3 coming into this outing for Yale. 6 hit by pitches, making number 7, and now Steve Saban's gonna have a conversation about it. You know, hey, he probably should have moved or at least made an effort.
I'm guessing that's what Saban's conversation with Steve Mattingly, our plate umpire, is. That Hoyland may have leaned into it. And he definitely stuck it out there a little bit. Made no effort to miss getting hit.
I'll take a little gray area. I'll give Cam, I don't know if it's an Oscar nominee, but again, if I'm a home plate umpire watching Max Yale up to that point, you're not really giving me a lot of benefit of the doubt area for you, because the command has been just so inconsistent thus far.
Mound visit for the head coach, Steve Sabans. Back to the first base dugout. 2 on, 2 out. And the Cal Poly center fielder, the senior Casey Murray Jr., a .321 hitter, will step in. Last 5 games, he is 11 for 19 with that 5-game hitting streak.
All regional team, right? 5 big RBI in the LA regional. You talk about wanting some situational opportunities to present themselves. None better so far than what Cal Poly has right now.
Second team all Big West for Murray. Yale The pitch. And that is a called strike. Murray left 5 runners aboard yesterday. Just missed off the corner, 1-1. 2 on, 2 out, last of the first. A run in for the Mustangs on a sac fly from Ryan Taman.
If I'm Casey Murray Jr., I've been seeing everything away. I'm trying to shoot it through the right side if at all possible.
One and 2 on Murray.
Max Yale's got to come up with some kind of swing and miss here. Already 22 pitches, both starters being forced to elevated pitch counts thus far.
Portage at second, Hoyland at first. The 1-2. Line down the right side, that pushes foul.
That's a good approach. Again, Yale has shown you nothing inside thus far. That's going to be dangerous if it continues that way. Starting pitchers, you're always taught you want to try and establish the inside part so it allows you east and west capabilities. The inconsistency of the off speed has really forced Yale to just stay middle away to a lot of this lineup.
Again, the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. Struck him out. Murray down swinging. The Mustangs are gone. They get a run. On 2 hits, they lead 2. 1-0. Cal Poly through 1 in game 2.
A big punch out from Max Yale. Back to the bat rack. Got to score 1 to win. Here we go.
Matthew Gravlin leads off the second for the Mountaineers as Turnquist fires one to the backstop. As you look at the other side of the bracket for the Super Regionals in every game 1 today.
Boy, what a Cinderella story that St. John's is. 4 seeds punching their ticket to Supers. By the way, we do owe Amanda Mazey, wife of Coach Randy Mazey, a huge shout out. Homemade pepperoni rolls delivered to the booth.
And they were dropping them off on Randy's Ridge yesterday to the fans. And it's packed up there again today. And a called strike to Matthew Gravlin, hitting .292. With 6 homers playing in left field today. Gravlin was behind the plate in game 1. There is Randy's Ridge and Randy Mazey. 2-2 on Gravlin. By the way, check out the shorts he's got going.
I love it. Man of the people. The first family of West Virginia out and about.
2-2 on Gravlin. Turnquist, the pitch. Popped up, right field. Racing toward the line, a long run, and it lands fair. And then goes over the side fence into the crowd, or that grassy hill, and slowing it up is Dylan Cordage. And the bloop to right that was just inside the line, according to Travis Carlson, our first base umpire.
He gave every possible ounce of effort. And it is not a lot of foul territory here, Roxy. For people who have not been to Morgantown, it really shortens quite quickly. You can see him kind of jam the hand. And oh man, matter of a foot before making a huge catch.
Cal Poly is challenging that call. If it was fair or foul, the ruling on the field was fair ball, and Gravlin ends up at second base with a leadoff double. And here is what they're reviewing, and you can see it landed just on the line.
Yep. Well, a break for West Virginia right there, and the wind already swirling here, so kind of into no man's land. Great shot by our crew right there.
And the wind may have aided it because we have a strong breeze pushing out toward left, kind of toward the left field corner, as our NCAA replay operations center right up the road in Pittsburgh reviewing that play. A challenge from Cal Poly. You get 2 per game. If you're correct, you keep it. If it's unsuccessful, you lose it, right? wasn't working properly. It's Travis Carlson, our first base umpire, letting everybody know an unsuccessful challenge. A double for Gravlin, and now Matt Einish coming up for West Virginia with a runner aboard here in the top of the second.
You can understand why Larry Lee, head coach of Cal Poly, wanted to make that challenge. Run's going to be at a premium here, and in an elimination game scenario, you certainly, with the output West Virginia had yesterday, don't want them to catch some early fire.
The pitch, and Einish looks at a strike. 296, 4 homers for the West Virginia shortstop. Walked 3 times yesterday, 1 for 2, scored a couple of runs in game 1. Second team All-MAC. Last year transferred from Ohio U. He had 387 a year ago. Breaking for third. Ryan Taman's throw, not in time, and a steal. And Matthew Gravlin with his 6th stolen base. And he had a tremendous jump.
Really good job in anticipating. You young players, the secondary lead so key, and it was that first shuffle that allowed him to gain a lot of ground. That's your difference. Right there, eluding the tag with a great slide to the back of the bag. Now runner in scoring position. 90 feet away.
Of the diamond is back. They will concede the run for the out. And it's outside to Matt Einish. It's 2-1. Nothing Cal Poly, but West Virginia runner at third, nobody out. The 2-1. Check swing, no one appeal.
Well, Carson Turnquist has been a real shutdown starting pitcher with runners in scoring position. Held just by the slightest of margins there. 164 average against with Risp.
Team-leading 51st time this year. And already Einish with 4 walks this weekend.
He had been a leadoff hitter for Steve Saban's lineup, and then with the last couple of days of the Morgantown Regional, a lineup shift, getting Armani Guzman to the top spot. But Einish, outstanding job and working another arduous at-bat for Carson Turnquist.
Now it's Brody Kresser playing at second base today for West Virginia. Runners in the corners, nobody out. 292, a couple of homers for Kresser. 2 for 4, drove in 2 yesterday. Turnquist just missing off the corner, and we saw how pumped up he was prior to the game, the strikeouts he had in the first inning. How do you challenge those emotions making a big start like he's trying to deal with right now?
Right here, you got to keep it pitch to pitch, stay within yourself, execute in the zone to try and get a ground ball.
Runner goes. Strike, and the throw down to second, coming back to the plate, and gets away from Ryan Taman. Tie game is the stolen base as Matt Einish runs down to second. And then back to the plate, the back end of the double steal. Gravlin scores, and it's 1-up.
It's one of the parts of the DNA of this West Virginia team. They're going to challenge you with speed pressure. The thought throwing through, not necessarily agreeing with that whatsoever, considering it's still early in the game. But a great slide again, and West Virginia has leveled this one at 1.
Matt Einish out there at second. 1-1 the count on Kresser. Way outside for Turnquist.
Now, if I'm Brody Kresser, I am absolutely just keyed on the fastball here.
Comes the pitching coach for Cal Poly. Seth Boyer to the mound to try to calm down his junior righty.
With a 3-1 count to boot here. And obviously, Cal Poly seeing Carson Turnquist teetered just a little bit here. Does not want this inning to get out of control. Well, the West Virginia faithful were loud and proud from pitch number 1. Carson Turnquist ran to the mound and said, "Come on, give it to me." The Mountaineer Nation is letting him have it right now.
The Ridge was packed yesterday, and they've squeezed more people up there today. That is a steep slope that people are trying to engage their core with and stay anchored on that hill up there, up above first base and right field.
And we were told 4:45 a.m. was the first group of people in line. They started letting people come in and get their spots. The running of the bulls, if you will, at 9 a.m. Eastern. It has been pandemonium here since then.
Yeah, Spain's got nothing on Morgantown. 3-1 on Cresser. Matt Einish at second. Turnquist the pitch. And that is in there for a strike. He took something off.
Little off speed that probably, as Cresser accurately looking at the 3-1 count, 1 pitch, 1 spot, that's a good take.
And it's low, ball 4. Second walk issued by Turnquist. 2 on, nobody out. Ben Lumsden, the right fielder, and the 8-hitter for West Virginia coming up.
Now, the bottom of this lineup has given opposing pitching staffs fits here the last week and change. And this man right here, Ben Lumsden, has been at the forefront of it. 9 walks in the West Virginia regional, the Morgantown regional, I should say. Cal Poly, a few guys down there, but you would have to imagine Larry Lee is going to give his big right-hander as much leash to try and work out of it.
Lumsden homered last weekend. He's got a 6-game hitting streak going. 2 on, nobody out. 1 for 4, drove in 2 with a double yesterday. The pitch. And it's low from Turnquist.
He has had a great eye. Last 18 plate appearances, on base 14 times for Ben Lumsden.
A transfer from Texas Arlington. In the air, left center field, going back on it is Bikini. At the wall, gone opposite field.
Welcome to the happy hunting ground in Morgantown. He had a big homer in the West Virginia Regional in Morgantown here, and he lights up the afternoon again. We told you the wind was going to be real crucial here. Any fly ball to left center had a chance to carry, and Ben Lumsden with a shot of life into the West Virginia dugout, now up 4-1.
Second homer for Lumsden. Now it's Tyrus Saul, who had a grand slam yesterday. And he put it up with a jet stream, and it pushed it out into the bullpen. Ball 1 to Hall.
Now again, the pitch location elevated out over the big part of the plate. All you had to do was lift. And Ben Lumsden, come on down. Give me all 3 of these.
And Turnquist just can't find the zone.
Uncharacteristic here the first 2 days, Roxy. You saw this Cal Poly staff out west. They were in command. They were ahead in the count. They really dominated early to set the tone. But West Virginia has been equal to the task.
There is a strike. 2-1 the count on Tyrus Hall. Turnquist, last Saturday against St. Mary's, picked up the win. He went 6 innings. He struck out 7 with no walks. Gave up a run on 5 hits. Floats that one high. And St. Mary's, the number 3 hitting team in the country. They hit around 330 as a club, and that's who Turnquist shut down last week.
He's up against it now.
In the air, left center field. Back is Murray at the track. Gone! Back to back for West Virginia.
Exclamation point in the opposite field grand slam yesterday. Oh man, how about your first time coming up today? Another wind-aided jack to left field, and that extends the West Virginia advantage to 5-1.
5-run second and still nobody out. Top of the order, Armani Guzman for the Mountaineers. Strike one.
Well, this is the problem when you leave pitches out. That is center cut. Tyrus Hall flexing. And Turnquist can't believe it.
Jammed him and back to the screen and jumps ahead of Guzman 0-2. As the lefty Chris Downs begins to loosen in the Cal Poly bullpen.
Well, at this spot now, knowing how yesterday unraveled quickly, it was a 3-spot in the first inning. Sean Smith with the big blast. Tyrus Hall, grand slam in the 4th. And if you are head coach Larry Lee, there's going to have to be a break glass in emergency, and we may be getting very close to that for Cal Poly.
Second time this season that West Virginia's gone back-to-back. The pitch. And Turnquist thought he made his pitch and started twirling around the hill.
Oh, I thought he did too. That was an excellent spot. Second time this year, West Virginia back-to-back homers coming in the best possible time of the year.
Lumsden and Hall back-to-back. 2-2.
Now you would assume the lefty warming in the pen. Paul Schoenfeld is in the hole here as the next left-handed bat. Gavin Kelly, the righty, on deck.
And he drills Guzman after he jumped ahead 0-2. And right now, Carson Turnquist is all over the place.
It is unraveling quickly. I'm sure the emotions running high here. And that may be it for the big right-hander.
And that will be it for Turnquist. Does not record an out here in the second. And Larry Lee coming to take out Turnquist, the transfer from Oklahoma, who's been so good for Cal Poly this year, winning each of his last 7 starts, but clearly didn't have it today.
They were alive and well early this morning. They're even more alive now. Ben Lumsden, let's go opposite field. Tyrus Hall, come join me right there. 5-1, West Virginia.
Exclusively on ESPN, 40-plus NCAA championships. Confetti rains. Nets are cut. Joy erupts. Hardware is hoisted. History happens here on ESPN, home of NCAA championships.
Carson Turnquist goes just 1+ innings. Does not record an out here in the second, and this rally started on a bloop double. It unraveled quickly for Turnquist.
And again, when you think about the first inning and how different the second was, wasn't able to really land any of the off speed, and so you really strangle the opportunity to expand the arsenal, and that will give way to the Cal Poly bullpen.
Chris Downs, the new pitcher, out of the bullpen for the Mustangs. An ERA right around 5 for Downs. Makes his team-leading 28th appearance, or 27th appearance, I should say, for Downs, who has some length to him. Has thrown 55 2/3 innings. He struck out 55. There's still nobody out. West Virginia's already scored 5. 6th time in this tournament they've had an inning with 5 or more runs.
It has been really fast. When it goes quickly, and a lot of that due to the long ball as well.
Gavin Kelly, the hitter, singled in the first. Back-to-back homers, a steal of home, and it gets started with the bloop double. It's Downs another move to first with Guzman over there, leading the Big 12 in steals this year. 37 stolen bases for Guzman. One off the single season West Virginia record.
Now remember, West Virginia led the entire regional round with 9 stolen bases. They've already added to that postseason total here.
Already with 3 steals in this game.
Yeah, and if I'm Chris Downs, we got priority at the plate here. You need to start collecting some outs, not worry about the runner at first.
The pitch out of play from Gavin Kelly. The bloop double by Matthew Gravlin got the inning started. Then the command issues for Turnquist. A double steal of home as Gravlin steals on the back end to get West Virginia on the board. The 3-run homer from Ben Lumsden that gave West Virginia the lead. Just his 2nd homer of the season for Lumsden, and both have come in the tournament.
Yeah, and he had a huge homer in the Morgantown Regional that really set this offense ablaze too. Bottom of the lineup has been so critical for Steve Saban's crew.
Another move to first, and Lumsden, he didn't take over as a starting outfielder until that finale of the series at Kansas. And Lumsden's been in the lineup ever since for West Virginia.
Good time for your first 2 long balls of the year. Both of them game changers in their own right.
And then Tyrus Hall going back-to-back with Lumsden. Just missed from Downs.
And Downs going to feature fastball, slider, change. And right now, you're just trying to find some continuity in the strike zone to the top of this West Virginia lineup.
6-7 lefty. Downs another soft toss over to first. And then Hall, who hit the grand slam yesterday. 5 of his 7 home runs have come since the beginning of May, and 2 this weekend.
Not bad for your 8 and 9 hitters.
Runner goes. Taman's throw down to second, not in time, gets away from Jake Downing. And that ties the single season stolen base record in West Virginia history. 38 steals with Victor Scott II. And the St. Louis Cardinals speedster set that in 2022.
Feels like that synergy, right? Cardinals, draft picks, products of West Virginia. Look at Armani Guzman. Silky smooth at the plate, in the field. He has been a one-man wrecking crew.
Foul to plate by Kelly.
Gavin Kelly, again, the middle of this West Virginia lineup, so potent. Kelly with runners in scoring position this year, an even 400 average. Right man, right spot for one of the top draft picks for next year's Major League Draft.
West Virginia winning 16 of their last 19 games. And way outside, and it's ball four, and Kelly is now on. Still nobody out here in the second. The NCAA Super Regional coverage continues this weekend across ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN Plus. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all NCAA championships. Eighth batter of the inning. Paul Schoenfeld struck out in the first. And the number 3 hitter in the lineup for Steve Sabins. Bunted. The pitcher downfields. Gets the out at first, and the runners advance on the sacrifice.
Well, if you're new to college baseball and you're saying to yourself, why is the 3-hole hitter bunting? This is part of the DNA of Steve Sabins' crew. Opportunities to get multiple runners into scoring position. And Paul Schoenfeld has been unselfish in that regard, watching not only from the regional, but also right here. And now moving those respective runners up 90 feet apiece to add on to this 5-run second inning.
Now it's Sean Smith. Guzman at third, Kelly at second. This one lifted down the right side out of play by Smith, who struck out in the first. Down 5-1 in the second, facing elimination. You surprised Cal Poly's playing the infield back?
I honestly am. I very much so think that if you are at this point, you've already seen firsthand yesterday runs come in bunches with this West Virginia crew. You have to limit any additional scoring opportunities.
Just miss off the edge. 1-1. Ninth batter, this top of the second. Chris Downs. Strike call.
Good pitch presentation from Ryan Taman right there. Again, that's part of, as a reliever, you hope that your starter has at least given you some of the inside half to work with, especially with the middle of the lineup, trying to gain some real estate east and west in the strike zone.
The disengagement stepping off is Downs. West Virginia finished a game behind Kansas in the Big 12, lost to the Jayhawks in the Big 12 tournament final. And it's just off the edge. 2-2 the count on Sean Smith. But they finished the season strong. West Virginia to sweep at Kansas. Swept K-State, series win over TCU. Strong showing in Arizona at the Big 12 tournament. Bluffing down the line was Guzman. And Downs missing off the corner.
Now this feels like the tipping point right here. Guzman, a little walking lead, trying to induce some chaos in his own right.
Line drive through the left side and a base hit. Guzman is in. They're going to hold Kelly at third. RBI single, and Sean Smith makes it 6-1 West Virginia.
Well, what a difference a week makes for that man right there. Hit just 200 in the Morgantown Regional, had 4 ribbies, but has provided a boatload of offense here yesterday and early today. 4 hits just in the second inning, along with 3 walks. It has been damage left, right, and center from this West Virginia attack.
And now Matthew Gravlin hitting for the second time in the inning. The bloop double to right on the line. Started this rally, and still only 1 out. Runners in the corners for the Mountaineers. Line foul off to the right. Off the end of the bat of Gravlin.
And you talked about the versatility of Steve Saban's lineup as we came on the telecast today. And Gravelin, who caught yesterday in the outfield today with Gavin Kelly behind the plate, has been usually paired with Max Yale. Saban saying it's maybe the best catching core that they've had here at West Virginia. What a luxury. I'm just thinking as a pitcher, I got a guy behind the dish, my second baseman, when Gavin Kelly's in the field as a catcher, that mound visit. Oh, you want to do that? Well, what about you? Well, I feel pretty good about this, guys. What do you think?
Does the left fielder want to come in too?
Right.
2-1 on Gravelin. Gavin Kelly at third, Sean Smith at first. Downs, the pitch. Grounded foul over near the Mustangs dugout.
Now, double play is in order here, and infield is shaded slightly up the middle, and predominantly Jake Downing almost entirely up the middle, so a boatload of real estate on the right side here for Matthew Gravelin.
Here it comes. Full count now on Gravelin. Would you send Smith to first base?
I think you could just pin your ears back, let Gravelin go for it right here.
And they picked off Smith, and Gavin Spiridonov delaying his throw to second, and it appears he's safe at second base. An abbreviated call by our umpire out there, Brian Peterson, and Gavin Spiridonov was concerned with the runner at third, and a delayed throw to second base, which allowed Smith to get there.
Well, high IQ play here by Sean Smith. Knows he's a dead duck, but hits the E-brake, waiting for the throw, so that could allow potentially Gavin Kelly to get a head start down the line to score the run at third. Now second and third.
Infield up for Cal Poly. Comebacker, pass Downs. Only one play for Jake Downing. Makes the play at first. Another run is in. Boy, went right past the pitcher, and Downs couldn't feel his position.
Oh, man, if he had followed through and had balance at release, they had a play on Gavin Kelly at home. But the luck is continuing to go West Virginia's way. Put yourself in great situations, great things happen. And this has been an onslaught here. Watch Downs. If Downs finishes in a normal fielding position, he's got a chance to come home and cut down another run.
Ground ball to short off the bat of Matt Einish. Nate Castillon makes the play at first. Mercifully, the side is retired. 7 runs in the second for West Virginia.
Well, Rich Rodriguez, head football coach, was here yesterday. He's got to love the hard-hitting West Virginia attack. Strap on the helmet. Let's go to war, boys. 7-1, Mountaineers.
All right, Chris, a 7-run second for the Mountaineers. As bottom of the order for Cal Poly in the last of the second, Gavin Spiridonov, Dante Bikini, Jake Downing, as the Mustangs have some catching up to do. Max Yale on the mound. Freshman first baseman called strike to Gavin Spiridonov. 291 hitter with 4 home runs and a big one last weekend in the regional final against St. Mary's.
Something to keep in mind here. Long layoff for Max Yale in between coming out for this and watching his boys go give him a 7-run spot in the second. So obvious shutdown inning here, but again, crisp and efficient, pound the strike zone, force Cal Poly to have to put the ball in play.
11 went to the plate for the Mountaineers. Ball 2 to Gavin Spiridonov. One for 4 yesterday in game 1. Yale the 2-2. Way outside and a full count.
Last thing you want to do is walk the leadoff hitter after you've had your guys give you 7 runs. Larry Lee hoping for a little igniter here.
Tied him up. Second strikeout for Max Yale. Here's Dante Bikini, the left fielder for the Mustangs. And he looks at a strike from Yale. 283 hitter. 1 for 4 in game 1 for Bikini. And speaking of MLB, and former Cal Poly Mustang is to thank for the new spikes the Mustangs are wearing here. Weak grounder foul jamming Dante Bikini. It's 0-2. Of the Mariners, Brian Wu was a terrific pitcher for Larry Lee and Cal Poly, and those spikes are courtesy of the standout pitcher from Seattle.
Not bad when you can hook up the boys with some new swag, and certainly we could hear it walking through the hotel. You could tell that new sneaker sound was alive and well.
Strike 3 called to Bikini. 3 straight hitters that Yale has struck out. The first observing for Yale, there's 2 away.
Indeed, and again, a nice job by continuing to challenge. That's his best off speed, a good slider down and away. Feel like he's starting to gain some momentum and confidence here.
2 gone for Jake Downing, the 9 hitter, the second baseman. And he looks at a strike, hitting 272. Downing 0 for 4 in game 1. Honorable mention all Big West this year. Hit 6th yesterday, and with the lefty on the mound, dropped to 9th. 1-1 on Downing. Yale. Here comes the 1-1. That's off the outside. Doesn't appear there's trouble refocusing, but you were sitting in the dugout talking about Max Yale for a while. How is it trying to get centered again out there?
Yeah, I think it's just tempo, right? And poise, and again, feeling that release point. Yeah, not to say he was tentative in inning 1, but he's trying to get his bearings. Feels like that has all gone by the wayside, and he is now locked in.
2-2 on Downing. Here comes. Line foul. Headed toward the street.
You know, a lot easier that you get spotted a 6-run lead after 1 frame. But yeah, credit to West Virginia. This has been part of what they've done here, especially finishing out the regional. Yesterday, getting the early 3-0 lead as well.
Grounded to short. Gobbled up. Matt Einish on to first, and a 1-2-3 second for Max Yale. We're through 2 in game 2. West Virginia up 7-1 on Cal Poly. The second inning, West Virginia offense unleashed. Chasing Carson Turnquist, couple of homers, 11 going to the plate, 7 runs in the second for the Mountaineers.
Again, it was about getting the ball in the air. The wind has really gusted out to left center. Ben Lumsden, the beneficiary of maybe a little wind-aided blast, and Tyrus Hall saying, "Oh, don't worry, I hit the weight room, we're good."
They are relentless.
They are.
The pressure they put on you.
And again, thinking also about the stolen bases. You know, again, not taking your foot off the pedal. You do not want any wiggle room from a mental perspective for Cal Poly. You've got a chance now. It's your ace on the mound, ace A, ace B, however you look at it, between Max Yale, Chance, and Cole. Ideal start for West Virginia.
Called strike to Brody Kresser. He walked in that 7-run second. 5 stolen bases in the inning. And the catalyst was that bloop double by Matthew Gravlin to get it going. 1-1 the count on Kresser. The pitch. And that one's poked foul, out of play.
Well, now, if you are Chris Downs, a junior left-hander on the mound for Cal Poly, efficiency would be great, but you've got to collect outs. It's not about zeros. You're collecting outs here, and you just have to keep that simple pitch-to-pitch mindset. Don't try and do it all by yourself.
Cal Poly in a super regional for the first time. 5th NCAA tournament appearance for the Mustangs, who made the cross-country trek from San Luis Obispo, California to Morgantown, West Virginia. Out toward left center. That falls in for Kresser. He takes a turn, and then he'll slam on the brakes. Hit number 6 for the Mountaineers. And a leadoff single to open up the third.
He's actually been really, when leading off an inning, 388 average, almost feels like a second leadoff hitter from where he's hitting in the 7th spot. But yet again, Roxy, this was a huge boost to West Virginia in the Morgantown Regional. 7, 8, and 9 found ways to really jumpstart innings and get extra at-bats for the top of the lineup. Kresser, Lumsden, Hall, all a big reason why this offense is rolling.
Here is Ben Lumsden. The pitch. And that's on the outside edge and a called strike. Lumsden, who homered in the Supers last year against LSU at Baton Rouge. Kresser at first, and Downs nearly throws it away. Look, not to make an excuse for Cal Poly, but the first pitch of the game yesterday and today was at 9 a.m. Pacific. Well, and the cross-country trip. Larry Lee won't use it as an excuse, but it's a fact that they're dealing with their body clocks and the adjustment to East Coast time.
Well, and trying to adjust to coming into a buzzsaw of a lineup. You just saw in the graphic there, Ben Lumsden, last 19 plate appearances, he's reached base 15 times. I take it from a former pitcher. I mean, you come in, you're in the hornet's nest, and trying to put out this momentum as uphill a task as you can get.
Right at the bag, handled by Spiridonov. Throw to second, and sliding in safe. As Brody Kresser had to be tagged after Spiridonov got the out at first base.
A creative way for Kresser to elude that throw and tag attempt. The idea being you're trying to create as much distance between the fielder and where they have to tag you. Great job getting right in the bag there. Yes, indeed, you are safe, big boy.
And if Brian Peterson needed any help,
a reinforcement, yes.
Brody Kresser was offering his advice. 1 out, Kresser at second. Now Tyrus Hall, the 9-hitter. And there's a number toward third. Alejandro Garza rifles to first for the out. And over to third goes Kresser, 2 away. And this was the journey for the Mustangs coming all the way from California.
And so about halfway, if you will, in between San Francisco and Los Angeles. Hey, let's get on to Big Bird. Let's jump a couple of time zones, and 2,200 miles later, welcome to Morgantown, West Virginia.
It's a big weekend on the Cal Poly campus. They're unveiling the new John Madden Football Center today. A $50 million facility. Their outstanding athletic director, Carter Henderson, couldn't make the trip here because he kind of needed to be there for ribbon cutting ceremony. As it's ball 1, top of the order, Armani Guzman steps in. Divided loyalties today.
Indeed it is. Again, back-to-back conference titles for head coach Larry Lee. First time in 32 years that's happened at Cal Poly.
And by the way, if you're wondering, yes, it is that John Madden.
I'm not even going to do an impression.
Boom!
You know, there's things
Frank Caliendo when you need him.
Yes, right.
Here's the pitch from Downs, and Guzman drills one to right. Going! It is way back! And it is gone! First of the season for Guzman. Third for West Virginia today. 9-1 Mountaineers.
An all-out aerial assault from the West Virginia offense. And Armani Guzman knew it as soon as he made contact. How about getting your first bomb of the year in a potential clinch game to send your program to the College World Series for the first time in school history?
Now it's Gavin Kelly who singled and walked. And he scored a run today. Fouled back by Kelly.
I mean, it bears repeating. This Cal Poly Mustang staff gave up 5 runs in the Los Angeles Regional total. You are now at 21 runs surrendered in a little over a game and some change.
1 strike pitch, way outside. It has gotten ugly early for the Mustangs here in game 2. 2-1 on Gavin Kelly. And this overflow crowd enjoying every moment here in Morgantown. The pitch, and it's 3-1 on Kelly.
No, they're not going to stop. I mean, this offense is going to continue to try and pile it on. But statistically, this is just absurd. 21 runs already.
Kelly drills one. Back toward left center and off the base of the wall. Hustling into second, and a double for Gavin Kelly, who nearly hit one out of here.
A one-hopper from having potentially the second back-to-back round trippers in the first 3 innings of this one. Gavin Kelly just continues to show you why he is as legitimate a first-round prospect as there is in next year's draft. Boy, if you are Chris Downs and this Mustang staff, you're searching for answers.
Here's Paul Schoenfeld now, and he grounds it through into right. Charging it is Kordich in right. They're sending Kelly. Throw to the plate, and safe getting around the tag. Gavin Kelly. 10-1 West Virginia.
This is an unbelievable throw from Dylan Kordich, but an even better slide from Gavin Kelly. The accuracy is excellent, and the ability to elude this tag by maybe a foot counts the 10th run of the day for West Virginia. One more look at it. Wow. Everything going West Virginia's way this afternoon.
Well, yesterday was the 41st anniversary of Ferris Bueller. Life comes at you fast.
Oh, boy. It escalated quickly. The hustle of Gavin Kelly. Knows he's got a chance off the bat. It is full turn and burn. Kordich, an outstanding effort to try and nail him at home plate, and even Ryan Tame in full extension unable to tag Gavin Kelly at home.
Another mound visit for Seth Moyer, the Cal Poly pitching coach. Corden Petty is loosening in the bullpen for the Mustangs.
Think they're having fun?
Slightly. Yeah.
This has been an insane environment since Sunday night. The crescendo of emotion after the almost miraculous comeback in the 9th inning to force Game 7 on Monday. It has all led to this point. All 9 batters have reached safely for West Virginia, and we are just in the 3rd inning.
Sean Smith, an RBI single in the 2nd. And it's strike 1. You can see how Steve Sabins and Randy Mazie have turned Morgantown into a baseball town.
Oh, there's no question. There's no professional team here in West Virginia. We talked with Max Yale way back before the regional started, and he said everyone feels like this is kind of that professional team for them. And the groundswell of support has just parabolically risen these last couple of weeks.
Third straight year the Mountaineers in a super. And for the first time since 1955, they're within one game of going to the College World Series. They were 0-2 last year in Baton Rouge, losing to the eventual champions. They went 0-2 in Chapel Hill against Carolina 2 years ago.
Sometimes you got to keep knocking on the door year after year, but the difference this year, this home field advantage. Steve Sabins said it. There's no better environment in college baseball, no better home field advantage than what we have. Roxy, I got to tell you, it has played out and then some. The scene here on Monday night with the walk-off win in extra innings, the viral sensation of watching Country Roads being sung by the team and 5,000 plus, all crescendoing to this moment.
Two and one the count on Sean Smith, the cleanup batter, the DH for the Mountaineers. Chris Downs, the pitch. That one tied him up, down and in. Good back foot slider.
It's one weapon that we haven't seen too much here, but Chris Downs may have found something here. We obviously know West Virginia can hit the fastball. They've been crushing it all afternoon. I'll try and change it up a bit, going a little north and south with the off speed.
Struck him out, picked up by Ryan Taman, and he tags him out to complete the strikeout, but 3 more for the Mountaineers in the third.
And how about a time for your first bomb of the year? It has been the silky smooth Armani Guzman in so many ways. Well, let's add a homer with the dismount. He knew it, and the Mountaineer faithful love it. It is all West Virginia, 10-1 in the third.
On ESPN, that's Monday night, Game 3, and Pat McAfee was here yesterday, and you saw interaction sitting right behind the plate. He was jacked for his Mountaineers.
He loved it, was a part of it. I just love that he had the chance to experience what's happened and how amazing it has been for this program the last handful of weeks.
Lazy fly to center, takes care of Nate Castillon. One out in the last of the third. And the mayor of Morgantown yesterday here, and now he's tweeting out. I think he's dialed in.
I think he's probably putting a little aloe on those shoulders too. He was down front center. Great to see him and the boys showing love. Got to get him to Omaha. Got a sneaky suspicion if the Mountaineers punch their ticket, he might be destined for Middle America.
Here is Alejandro Garza taking ball one, a fly out in the first inning. He was anchored with Rich Rod, football coach here at West Virginia. Second tour of duty for Rich Rodriguez in Morgantown.
Going cup for cup from what we saw.
1-1 the count on Garza.
Well, Max Yale continuing to do what you're supposed to do, right? You get another 3 spot in the top of the inning, continue to come out, pound the strike zone, force Cal Poly to have to beat you, putting the ball in play.
1-1 pitch. Garza off the end of the bat. 1-2 the count. Look, it's already a huge gathering, and the majority of the state might be here in Morgantown right now. Skied by Garza, playable. Brody Kresser, the second baseman, drifting out. And there's 2 gone as Max Yale's now retired 6 in a row. But you get the sense, Jensen, this crowd will get bigger and bigger. People will want to be here, anticipating what could happen should West Virginia finish this one off.
And all the people running in, as you see Randy's Ridge up there, it has escalated in population every single day. Regionals, Sunday night was a scene, Monday as well.
Ball 1 to Dylan Kordich, a single in the first.
Well, they sense the moment. You got to imagine that people yesterday who couldn't make it, perfect Saturday afternoon to come out and watch.
1 ball, 1 strike. 7 in the second, 3 in the third for West Virginia.
I mean, they basically sold out of tickets, I think, in 10 minutes for this Super Regional.
Surprised it took them 10 minutes.
Indeed.
Figured it would have been less time than that.
Well, okay, maybe the official number on that is a bit high, but you understand that people just dying to find a way into Kendrick Family Park here.
2-1. 3-1 on Dylan Kordich.
By the way, you thought there was some offense here in Athens. It's now 10-10 between Mississippi State and Georgia.
Pitching optional. Ground ball near the bag at second. Matt Einish slings it on to first. Max Yale's retired 7 straight. 10-1 West Virginia. We go to the 4th in game 2. 10-1 Mountaineers. Game 2 up 1-0 in this best-of-3 series. With Jensen Lewis and our ESPN crew. Roxy Bernstein with you. Morgantown, West Virginia. 5, 6, and 7 for the Mountaineers in the 4th. Matthew Gravlin, Matt Einish, Brody Kresser.
My goodness, 16 previous NCAA tournaments, there were 5 games with 10 or more runs. This year's iteration itself, 5 games with 10 or more runs. And we are just into day 2 of Super Regionals.
Ball 1 to Matthew Gravlin. His bloop double got the 7-run rally in the second started. And he hit twice in the inning, an RBI ground out as well. Here comes the 1-0. On the ground, past third, foul. 1-1 on Gravlin.
Well, you mentioned a quick strike offense here, and you know, for West Virginia, think about this, that they led the Big 12 in pitching, 9th nationally, and so kind of coming into our Super Regional, knowing what Cal Poly had done from a pitching standpoint, especially their starters done, okay, well, maybe 5 runs wins these games. I don't think we had on our bingo card it would be this kind of an explosion from the West Virginia offense, but I'll go back to what I told you coming in. When Steve Sabins moved Armani Guzman to the leadoff spot on Sunday, it just felt like it triggered an unleashing of this offense.
2-2 on Gravlin. Downs took over in the second as Carson Turnquist pitched a scoreless first for Cal Poly, but then was chased without recording an out in the second. The 2-2 on the ground left side. Gobbled up, Alejandro Garza onto first in the stretch. The awkward splits right there by Gavin Spiridonov. That hurt me watching it.
I would like to know how high 90s we are from Alejandro Garza unleashing the howitzer from third base. I mean, this thing had hair on it. He collects himself. This is a weakly hit ground ball. And it's... Jeez. Put him on the mound, see what he gets.
Here's Matt Einish for the Mountaineers. And a strike from Chris Downs.
We hit on the transfers too. Again, Einish coming over from Ohio University in the MAC last year. Transfer portal has been massive for this roster, for Steve Sabins, and it's been a wealth of different places that have really been infused into the group you watch here today. He really hit on how important that's been for their success here in 2026.
It appears when he hits the portal and he's looking to add, he has something specific he is looking for and not necessarily just going for talent.
The character, the buy-in, the grit, all culture aspects to be a West Virginia Mountaineer.
1-2. Jammed and a comebacker. Handled by Downs. And the soft liner, 2 gone.
Throw it around, big fella. Come on. Not often you get the, oh, excuse me, weak pop fly to the mound. I give him credit here. You know, again, trying to harness the emotion here and just create some sort of positive momentum. Chris Downs has tried to get things back in favor for Cal Poly.
Out toward left center, and that fouls in for Brody Kresser. And a 2-out hit, the 10th hit for West Virginia. And Kresser is on for the 3rd time. A couple of singles and a walk. And now it's Ben Lumsden for the Mountaineers.
All right, Roxy, we've seen a lot in our days, both playing Major League Baseball, covering it, the walk-up music selections. Ben Lumsden, take a bow, my friend. A little Sade coming to the plate. You kidding me?
Called strike from Downs to Lumsden. A 3-run shot in the 2nd inning.
He has been so important for what they do here. And again, as a veteran, a senior.
In the air to left, back into the corner is Dante Bikini. It's gone! Home run! Opposite field for Lumsden. Fourth homer for West Virginia. And the wind clearly aided that one.
I don't know from on high here, but it is absolutely blowing in favor of the West Virginia offense. Ben Lumsden just put his hands up like, I don't know. I'll get it up there. Let's see what happens. And even in left field, where you have kind of the tapered left field wall, he sneaks it over for his 2nd homer of the day. And what a finish in the regular season Ben Lumsden had. The power surge has come alive in the last 2 weeks. 12-1 West Virginia.
Now Tyrus Hall, and a strike from Downs, and Gus pushing upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour in that direction.
3 homers, all of them here in the NCAA tournament for the senior.
And Hall lines one the other way, and that slices out of play. And coming up, we'll talk to the head coach of West Virginia, Steve Sabins. The offensive explosion from West Virginia.
I would assume he would be in a good mood. He's usually locked in. He is not taking anything for granted right now. No question about it.
0-2 on Hall, who homered in the 2nd. And it's a ball and 2 strikes on the West Virginia 3rd baseman. One and 2. There is Steve Sabins. The pitch. 2-2 on Hall.
Now elevated pitch count now for Chris Downs. Pitch number 60 coming, and West Virginia just wearing out this Cal Poly Mustangs bullpen thus far.
Out toward right, sinking. And a dive, and it gets away from Dylan Kordich, and he quickly gets to it. Back to first is Hall, and Kordich is slow to get up.
Man, he was selling out to make what would have been an absolutely sensational play. That's the 2nd time Kordich has had a little awkward landing and a rollover. We'll take another look at it. This ball is not hit super hard, but it is hit low, so you've got to make an initial shot. Am I going to dive for it? And you can tell he kind of rolls the wrist a little bit. Boy, I hope he's okay.
He did everything he could to try to catch it. And now the athletic trainer for Cal Poly, along with Larry Lee, going to check on their right fielder, who just sat back down.
Catch it. So here is the replay earlier today. Again, selling out all the way. That and came up slow here. It crashed into that fencing. And that probably had some residual of what we're seeing right here. I mean, he has given his entire body to try and make 2 sensational defensive plays. What heart from the young man.
And the senior As Cal Poly's never been in this spot before. In the Super Regionals, their 5th tournament appearance. They'd made a regional final 2 times prior to this year. Even hosted a regional in San Luis Obispo back in 2014. But it never broken through to a Super. And now they trail 12-1 here in the 4th, down 1-0 in this best of 3. And Cal Poly will go to the bullpen again. Chris Downs lifted. Mountaineers still at the plate here in the 4th. 12-1 West Virginia. West Virginia sprinting toward their first appearance at the College World Series. They will meet either the Troy Trojans or the Little Rock Trojans at their first game in Omaha.
How about Troy, Alabama? If you didn't see the scenes there yesterday, oh my goodness, what an atmosphere and what a resounding result for them winning game 1 of their Super Regional.
New pitcher is Corden Petty, the freshman righty from Rockland, California, just outside of Sacramento. After 2 2/3 from Chris Downs.
He was sensational in the Big West title game. 5 scoreless innings pitched, and will be tasked with trying to put some zeros together for this Cal Poly bullpen now.
Great to see Dylan Cordage stay in this game after getting shaken up. As Armani Guzman, his first homer of the season in the 3rd. And you know it's good when your leadoff guy is up for the 4th consecutive inning.
Yeah.
And you're in the 4th.
Yeah.
Runner goes. Throw to second offline for Brian Taman. Another steal. Tyrus Hall takes second base. 6th stolen base for the Mountaineers.
Now Guzman, his first homer of the season, just piling on. And the dismount after hitting it into his West Virginia bullpen mate's area. That would make it 9-1. Now 12-1 Mountaineers.
3-0 the count on Guzman. Petty a 4.6 ERA. 4-2 with a save this year. The pitch. And that is a strike from Corden Petty, and it's 3-1.
You'll see primarily fastball slider here from Petty. It will mix in a curve and a change. Last 2 outings been really good for the right-hander. 6 innings, no earned runs, and 7 punch-outs to boot.
2-out rally, the single by Kresser, the homer from Lumsden. Grounded to second. Jake Downing fields, short throw to first, side retired. 2 more for the Mountaineers. We're going to the bottom of the 4th. The head coach, Steve Sabins, joins us next. Huge lead here in game 2. 12-1, West Virginia leading as we go to the bottom of the 4th in game 2 with Jensen Lewis, our ESPN crew. Roxy Bernstein joined by Steve Sabins, the head coach for the Mountaineers, and the approach and the aggressiveness from your team. It's been consistent all year. That mindset, what have you seen from your guys all season? And it's really boiling over today.
I'm just proud of them to show up and play with aggression. That's always been our MO, fearless and aggressive. So to be able to be in a big spot with a great atmosphere and a big game for the season, they're playing as aggressive and like themselves as ever. So that's always the goal as a coach. Just give me what you really got. Give me what you got in there, and they're playing that way. So excited where we're at. We're halfway through this sucker. A lot of ball game left, but I think the kids are dialed in right now.
Coach, this atmosphere has been a crescendo every single day since you had regional start last week. They were lined up at 4:45 a.m. Eastern to get on Randy's Ridge. What does it mean to have this kind of support?
The state's incredible. The people are incredible. They love the Mountaineers. They love our team. They got our back. So the support here has been as good as anything that I've ever seen in any sporting event. I mean, these people are passionate. They're all over the place. You can't fit more in the stadium. You can't fit much more on that hill today. And so I think we got something really, really special brewing here.
Coach, appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
Steve Sabins and his team up 12-1. Bottom of the 4th, Ryan Taman leads it off. Middle 3rd of the order for the Mustangs against Max Yale. We got a lot out of him right there.
I mean, he's still so dialed in. It's 1-0 in his mind right now, and that's the approach you have to have. You cannot let up. How many times, Roxy, have we seen where you give a team an inch, they take it a mile, and all of a sudden things unravel? Now, it looks great right now, but Max Yale continuing to have that 1-0 mentality paramount right here.
Called strike to Taman. And a full count on Taman here, leading off the home fourth. Sack fly in the first, and there's ball 4, and Taman is on to start the fourth. And this was Steve Saban's yesterday talking about the feeling in West Virginia.
And I think all that excitement starts from like a passion of this state. It's a passion for what WVU has going on. This team is the New York Yankees of West Virginia. People grew up watching the Mountaineers and rooting for the Mountaineers, and they spend a big chunk of their paychecks to drive into town and to come watch ball games because it's important to them.
That was Steve Saban's when asked about the environment surrounding ball games here in Morgantown. Ball 1 to Cam Hoyland, who was hit by a pitch in the first.
Think about him, second year as head coach, succeeding Randy Mazey, mentor, friend, neighbor. These guys continue to talk every day. It was hysterical asking Steve Saban's of, how much does Coach Mazey still kind of say, like, hey, would you do this? Would you do that? He goes, no, we're so close that he already is thinking the things that I'm thinking. Kind of an unspoken answering each other's thoughts there about how to make adjustments, mentality shifts, things of that nature. And boy, what a mentorship for one of the greats to ever do it. There's Coach.
1-2. Defensive swing, Cam Hoyland strikes out the fourth for Max Yale, 1 away. And a lot of coaches might be a little apprehensive and nervous with a legendary figure hovering over their shoulder, but it hasn't been that way here.
It's never been that way. And you know, for him, you watch Max Yale just continue to try and accumulate outs here, up 12-1. You see Steve Saban's loving what he's seeing from his Big 12 pitcher of the year.
Casey Murray Jr., he takes ball 1. He struck out of the first. In case you're wondering, only one team has overcome a deficit of 8 or more runs in a super regional. Called strike to Murray. That came in Eugene, Oregon in 2023. Oregon trailed Oral Roberts 8-0 and won it on a walk-off single 9-8. I was there at PK Park.
I was just going to say,
just pointing that out.
Did you see it with your own eyes?
I did.
Sounds like you have a good recollection of that one.
Oral Roberts did win that super regional, by the way.
Well, the work cut out for Cal Poly's offense for sure.
Grounder to short. Matt Ines flips. Brody Kresser the turn. 2 double play. Taylor made for Max Yale.
Well, 4 innings in the books. Max Yale continuing to shorten this one. An opportunity to punch your ticket to the College World Series, getting closer and closer for the Mountaineers. They're in Omaha. We will have a 1-0 team that has never been to the College World Series.
Call strike to Gavin Kelly, leading off the 5th. Paul Schoenfeld, Sean Smith to follow. 2-3-4 for the Mountaineers. 12-1 West Virginia. Kelly drills one to left, toward the line. If it's fair, it is gone. A home run. Fifth for West Virginia, number 17 for Gavin Kelly.
Well, the party started early this morning, and it's headed to overdrive. They're homer happy in the West Virginia dugout. Gavin Kelly, the latest addition. 17 home runs, 11 for Gavin Kelly since the beginning of May. He had 3 big homers in the Morgantown Regional, and he adds his name to the long ball list here this afternoon.
Paul Schoenfeld Takes ball one, and that was just fair down the line and in that jet stream.
Right over the top of the foul pole. Wow. Yep, chicken is fair too.
Strike one.
What an impressive showing. The helmet celebration. The boys in the dugout.
Liner to left toward the line on the move, and it skips past Dante Bikini to the wall. The hits just keep on coming for the Mountaineers. Paul Schoenfeld cruises into second base.
Well, half their hits yesterday went for extra bases. How about their 8th extra base hit already this afternoon? Roxy, we are in the top of the 5th, and there is no slowing down this West Virginia offense. Thinking 2 out of the box the whole way. And the route is on in Morgantown.
It's funny when I hear the bars of Money for Nothing on the homer that they play over the PA here. With the 5 home runs they have hit already in this game. Sean Smith, did he go? Yes, it's a strike. Running inside with a fastball was Petty. But it has me thinking the Cal Poly alum Weird Al Yankovic did a parody of Money for Nothing based on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Look at you. That's a great pull.
1 strike pitch. 1-1. Yeah, Weird Al, a Cal Poly alum.
If Weird Al and John Denver walked into a room together, what would that look like?
1-1 pitch. In tight to Smith. 2-1 the count. 13-1 Mountaineers.
4 consecutive innings they've scored, and to be fair, Carson Turnquist put up a 0, an emphatic one in the first inning. Cal Poly with the early lead, 1-0, a little situational baseball.
Runner breaks for third as Petty ignored the runner and an easy steal for Schoenfeld. West Virginia's not taking the foot off the gas.
And I don't blame them. This is college baseball. Anything can happen. And Steve Saban's not taking any chances. Enough is not enough.
Down the right side, this one will get out of play off the bat of Smith. He has struck out twice, an RBI single in the second. And the wind is picking up even more now. You can see the flags clearly pointed to the left field corner. There's some steam behind that wind right now.
It has been gusting upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour most of this morning and the afternoon.
And Smith draws a walk.
Now, despite the weather conditions, you would think that both teams, obviously having the aid of the wind blowing to left, would be able to utilize it similarly. It has been one-sided decidedly. 5 homers, majority of those being fueled by those gusting winds to left center.
And just the full tie-in with Weird Al Yankovic, this is no joke. He has a concert in the state of West Virginia tonight. I am not kidding.
Amazing.
Here's the 1-strike pitch. On the ground is short, could be 2. Nate Castellone to second. Jake Downing on to first. Double play. A run comes in. 14-1 West Virginia.
Anyway, anyhow, and won't get credit for the RBI with the double play, but you'll take the run column continuing to accelerate. 14 runs after 12 runs yesterday for West Virginia, and it was emphatic early and often. They put it away after the grand slam. Tyrus Hall, his first of his career. And it has been 2 haymakers in the second and third inning. 10 of the 14 runs scored in those frames.
Cal Poly cannot find anybody to stop the bleeding. It is his boulder that is picking up steam and rolling downhill, and right now it's squashing the Mustangs. The 1-1 fouled away by Matt Einish. And you thought the way the first inning went today, Carson Turnquist comes out lighting the radar gun up, 96, 97 in the first inning, puts up a 0 and a run for Cal Poly in the bottom of the first, and you're going, okay, we might have a series here. And as the great Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend.
On the other part, we talk about baseball gods and karma. Remember, he came out to the mound before he got the ball, and he's getting booed by the West Virginia faithful. He kind of said, bring it on. He got what he wanted. And it was loud noises from the second inning on.
Popped up near the third base dugout. Alejandro Garza handles it, and the side is retired. 2 more for the Mountaineers. Bottom of the order coming up for Cal Poly as we go to the home 5th. 14-1 West Virginia. 14-1 West Virginia with the lead, and cricket numbers ever since the first inning.
They have been continually a wave crashing on the ocean, and for you West Coasters, I don't care when we would have started these games. It feels like West Virginia's offense just destined for this kind of output, the way they've swung the bats.
Gavin Spiridonov leads off the 5th. Bottom of the order for Cal Poly. He struck out in the second. He takes ball 1 for Max Yale. Now, Cal Poly has had postseason success previously. They were elevated to the Division I level in 1995. They were a highly successful Division II program previously. The likes of the Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith. Mike Krukow was a 20-game winner in the big leagues with the Giants, and a long, distinguished major league career for Kruk. Now calling games for the Giants.
Got some modern-day guy, Mitch Haniger, Brian Wu, as we talked about earlier.
They did win a Division II national championship, but they had to vacate it. 1989. Cal Poly won the Division II national title in Montgomery, Alabama. 2-2 on Spiridonov. It was found afterward that Steve McFarland, who was the head coach of Cal Poly, funneled money to several players to pay for tuition and housing at the time he was coach of the team. Spiridonov out to right, over toward the line, and going back on it, Ben Lumsden for the out, 1 gone in the last of the 5th inning. And Cal Poly imposed penalties on itself, meaning they forfeited the 1989 title, plus their status as runner-up in 1993. They were 3rd place in 1992 when the NCAA approved their punishments. And it's the only year in Division II that there is no champion recognized.
Wow.
Now, I guarantee you the guys that played in it won that championship. They will look at it very differently.
Indeed. Well, and you look at this Cal Poly program far differently now with head coach Larry Lee.
Line drive to right, and that's a single for Dante Facchini, and the first hit for the Mustangs since the first inning.
A piece of hitting right there. Again, coming off making the all-regional team in Los Angeles. Dante Facchini was 5 for 11 with a double and a run batted in. Started this year as the leadoff hitter. He has hit at every spot in the lineup this season except the 2 and 4 spots. How about their family gatherings too? Has a fraternal twin sister, Bianca. Older brother Dominic and sister Sophia are fraternal twins. You mentioned the success now. Larry Lee, think of this. 16 of his players have reached the major leagues. There were only 9 from the 1930s to the early 2000s.
2-0 on Jacob Downing
before his arrival, and it kind of just speaks to where they are. You know, we looked at this super regional coming in. The pitching prowess had been there, and you watched it firsthand as #1 UCLA fell, but Cal Poly never had to play him. But the dominance against Virginia Tech, and twice, I don't think people realize, St. Mary's the #3 offense in the nation, and this pitching staff shut them down twice.
In the air, left center, hangs up there for Paul Schoenfeld, the center fielder taking charge. And there's 2 gone. Back to first goes Bikini.
How about the playoffs Brett Howden has had?
Unbelievable.
Little Conn Smythe sleeper right now. I know Mitch Marner's been kind of that guy. Frederick Anderson there for Carolina.
Nate Castellón takes ball 1, singled and scored back in the first. And out of nowhere for Brett Howden.
Oh,
it's
my.
not like, okay, had a 25-goal season and just rising to the occasion in the playoffs.
What do you have, 12 in the regular season, now 13 postseason?
Over the leaping shortstop, Matt Einish. Stopping at second is Dante Bikini, and 2 on for Cal Poly with 2 outs for Alejandro Garza.
Castellón, again, another member of the all-region team in Los Angeles. He's got a multi-hit effort again today. He had 22 multi-hit games this year and has been really solid as a table setter at the top of this offense.
But the amazing third period comeback by Carolina.
Oh, my
Game
goodness.
3, then Seth Jarvis, the power play goal in overtime. Tapper to short. Matt Einish gathers, fires, and gets Garza at first. And the Mustangs are gone. 2 hits, 2 left. 14-1. West Virginia to the 6th.
The first ever Super Regional held here in Morgantown. It is a distinct home field advantage for the Mountaineer faithful.
Electricity inside, outside this ballpark, around town. It is deafening here at Kendrick Family Ballpark and Wagner Field. And the Mountaineers leading at 14-1. Bottom of the order in the 6th. Brody Kresser scored 3 runs today, a couple of singles and a walk. Turns out of the way of that Corden Petty pitch. Activity in the bullpen continuing for Cal Poly.
And Kresser, again, another one of those transfers a couple of years ago that had made an impact, had to fill in for budding superstar of the St. Louis Cardinals, J.J. Weatherholt at shortstop back in 2024, slid back to second base and started last year at short. As you see Luke Kelsbeck starting to get loose, the sophomore left-hander.
He's got company from Josh Volmerding, who Cal Poly was hoping they would need for game 3.
Right, exactly.
And it's a leadoff walk, and Kresser is aboard for the 4th consecutive inning. Second walk today for Brody Kresser.
Well, about as good as you could hope if you are a West Virginia fan. Offensively yesterday, out early, putting it away. How about the Super Regional to this moment? 26 runs. The last 2 years, Roxy, in 4 games, a total of 21 runs in Chapel Hill and Baton Rouge.
And they were on the brink of elimination last Sunday night at the hands of Kentucky. Ben Lumsden has homered twice in the game. In that rally in the 9th inning against the Wildcats Sunday night.
I'm telling you, I feel like we've seen a lot in our baseball lives when Kentucky, who was the home team, hit back-to-back homers. It was Jace Tarnish and Tyler Bell.
They have the runner hung up as Ryan Taman skips it down to second and back to first. Getting back is Brody Kresser. And trouble with the throw is Nate Castellón, the shortstop for Cal Poly.
Well, probably smart right there to keep it in front of you in second base. No harm done here. Would have loved to have taken that out. Again, the throw is low. A good scoop here by Taman. Just needed to deliver it better. And Kresser back to first.
Into right, and a single for Lumsden. Stumbling around second. And Brody Kresser gets back to the bag as he lost his footing rounding the bag.
Well, Ben Lumsden continues to be a force at the bottom, but Brody Kresser kind of blows a tire coming around, hits the top of the base awkwardly, and that kind of upsets his momentum, rounding second, trying to head to third, alertly comes back to second. Well, how about the smooth operator, Ben Lumsden? Have a day, big fella. 3 for 4 for the senior.
Now it's Tyrus Hall for West Virginia, the 9-hitter, and he takes a strike from Corden Petty.
And again, to kind of pay off that comeback you talked about on Sunday. So it was Tarnish and Bell. That would move the lead to 3. And it was a routine ground ball to start the top of the 9th to the freshman Caden Clark there, or Caden Cloud, excuse me, at third. Goes under him, and you could, Roxy, I swear you could feel this whole place just go, oh, okay, here we go. And then it was history after that.
And sometimes that's all you need to get a start. Just find a way to get somebody on, and when you give a good team extra outs, you always seem to pay for it.
And that rivalry too, and it went for Kentucky too. I mean, they were crooked numbers, no lead was safe. But the final act there with Paul Schoenfeld going deep into the night for a homer that will be talked about for decades in this state. Gave them the lead, forced Game 7 on Monday, and then about as good a finish as you could have in college baseball with the walk-off.
Toward the right field corner and slicing, a long run, and it's foul as Dylan Kordich went chasing after it. And it's 2-2 on Tyrus Hall. But down 9-6 going to the top of the 9th. West Virginia was the visiting team in that game. And they scored 5 runs, highlighted by the Schoenfeld homer. And then forced the winner take all. Monday night, Game 7, they had a 5-1 lead. Kentucky scored 4 to tie it.
It was Max Yale who started that game, and we all were thinking, boy, who would it be? Couldn't get out of the first on Saturday in his start. Ends up pitching 5 of the biggest innings of his career.
Back to the mound. To second goes Petty, on to first, and the throw from Castellon not in time. They do force Ben Lumsden at second. Runners to the corners, 1 out as we go back to the top of the Mountaineers order and Armani Guzman. And here comes Larry Lee out of the third base dugout.
Well, sometimes you run into a lineup that is hitting on all cylinders. That's been the case the last couple of days here for West Virginia. No resistance from the Cal Poly bullpen thus far. It'll be their junior left-hander, Josh Volmerding, who will head to the mound. West Virginia, 4th pitcher for Cal Poly. As Larry Lee goes to the bullpen as we look at the bracket. And West Virginia moving closer to punching their ticket and going to the College World Series for the first time. And they'll be matched up with the Troy Little Rock Super Regional winner in Omaha. And USC stunning North Carolina in Game 1 in Chapel Hill.
And then on the other side, where all the game ones are today. Kansas and Oklahoma, of course, KU, the Big 12 champs, a game in front of West Virginia. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Texas and Oregon tonight. Mark Wasikowski's team, the Oregon Ducks, taking on the #6 national seed Texas.
How about Georgia? If you like homers and runs, well, we've had plenty here. How about 13-12 in Athens? Bottom 8. Just ridiculousness. Feed the trees there at Foley Field.
So here's your unique tie-in, by the way, as I mentioned, Mark Wasikowski. The 3 West Coast coaches that are still in the tournament, USC, Cal Poly, and Oregon. As Josh Volmerding on the mound for Cal Poly, 1 out, runners to the corners. Here's Armani Guzman, his first homer of the season in the 3rd. And he takes ball 1 for the big lefty Volmerding, who can bring it. He'll top out around 95. All 3 of those coaches, Andy Stankiewicz at USC, Mark Wasikowski at Oregon, and Larry Lee at Cal Poly, all played at Pepperdine.
It's the one place I wish I would have taken an official visit.
Where you could literally see the Pacific Ocean from their ballpark on campus.
Baseball in Malibu sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Josh Volmerding pitched tremendously in the regional final last Sunday night against St. Mary's. On in relief here, and he's dealing with a knee injury, which was aggravated in the offseason. And then he re-injured it about midway through this year. And they've eased him back and lengthened him out as the season has gone on. Called strike, top of the zone to Guzman. And I should point out Mark Wasikowski at Oregon was on that '92 national championship for Pepperdine, and Andy Lopez, who also won a national title at Florida.
It's a small fraternity we have in the baseball world, isn't it?
The 2-2. Guzman on the ground and through. Beat the shift, trotting home. Brody Kresser stopping at second is Tyrus Hall. 15-1 Mountaineers.
Well, again, just situational awareness here. Knows he's got a lot of real estate to deal with, so why not? Service to left, come on down. Brody Kresser. 16th hit. Second of the day for Armani Guzman. And the lead swells to 14. What a super regional for Armani Guzman. 4 for 9. First homer of the season.
Now it's Gavin Kelly who homered in the 5th, and he sends a rocket over to the West Virginia dugout. Luckily, it hit the railing in front.
Well, you get crowds like this who are into the wave right now. You get some big-time sales on these kinds of days. The home crowd coming in droves. Gotta believe souvenir sales have been pretty good here. A lot of blue and gold that's been bought up.
Surprised they have anything in stocks.
Yeah, right?
Just inside to Kelly.
Now, the positional versatility of this young man is so incredible. Catcher, middle infielder, but an even better leader. Leader of men.
3-1 on Kelly. Need to correct myself on Andy Lopez. He went to Omaha twice with Florida, but won his national championships. He's won 2. And the College Baseball Hall of Famer, winning one with Arizona in 2012. It was the 4th national title for the Wildcats. And then winning that title with Pepperdine in 1992. Line foul by Kelly. But also my favorite anecdote about Mark Wasikowski is his high school team. Coach at Oregon.
Okay.
Now they finished 3rd in their league in Southern California. And Waz went on to play at Pepperdine and won a national title. Full count on Kelly, 1 out. Volberding the pitch. And they're loaded now for the Mountaineers with 1 out. And that'll bring up Paul Schoenfeld. But his high school team, their first baseman went on to win 6 Gold Gloves in Major League Baseball. JT Snow. The center fielder won a Golden Spikes Award at Arizona State, Mike Kelly. And their third baseman, who never pitched, by the way, for his high school team. Maybe that's why they didn't win. Because supposedly their coach told this third baseman, you'll never pitch, you can't throw strikes, I'm not putting you on the mound. Called strike to Paul Schoenfeld.
A lot of good that did.
Rob Nen was the third baseman. And they didn't even finish in second. They finished in third place in their league. 0-1 on Schoenfeld. Big lefty Volberding missing down and away.
You mentioned some of the lineage, and it bears repeating. The latest addition to come out of West Virginia, J.J. Weatherholt, will certainly be in that discussion as a front runner for the National League Rookie of the Year. What he has done with the St. Louis Cardinals to start.
Weak grounded at first, right near the bag. Stepping on the bag and getting the out is Gavin Spiridonov. Another run is in for West Virginia. And there are 2 outs. And it's now 16-1 Mountaineers.
5 straight innings scoring at least 2 runs. They are now the 3rd team since 2020 with 5 or more homers and 5 or more stolen bases in an NCAA tournament game. It has been ridiculousness.
They just don't let up.
It is unbelievable.
At all.
Well, this program has been knocking on the door the last couple of years. 3rd straight year in a super regional. First time they've hosted it here at Morgantown. And Roxy, I could tell you, in Randy Mazey's final year in 2020, I had the Tucson Regional. It was, if we want to use a World Cup term, kind of the regional of death. They had
the group of death.
Yes, they had Arizona as the host, Dallas Baptist, West Virginia, and one of the great mid-majors in Grand Canyon.
In the air to right, pushing foul, and it gets out of play off the bat of Sean Smith.
Arizona gets knocked out. West Virginia has a couple of heroic pitching performances, and Weatherholt was not 100%. He was battling back, was a little jeopardized, but that did not stop Randy Mazey's crew from breaking through. They win that region. They get to the Super Regionals in Chapel Hill. That ended Randy's tenure.
Called strike to Smith.
But you could feel the difference there. It was now, hey boys, not only can we do it, we believe. Last year, you go up against the eventual national champions in Baton Rouge and LSU.
2-2. Called strike 3, and Volberding gets the strikeout. Side retired. 2 more for West Virginia. 16-1 Mountaineers, heart of the order coming up for Cal Poly. 16-1. The new pitcher is David Hagan. Out of the bullpen for West Virginia. 5 strong innings from Max Yale. And the sophomore from Loveland, Ohio, and you're our Ohio expert. Where is Loveland, Ohio?
Loveland, Ohio, just a little bit north of downtown Cincinnati. Actually a former conference foe from way back when. I don't want to date myself here, Roxy, but pride of Archbishop Moeller High School. A lot of my former Summer League teammates, fellow Crusaders. Shout out OHIO.
Some other changes for West Virginia as we go to the 6th. Dylan Kordich will lead it off, singled in the first. He is 1 for 2 as David Hagan's first pitch of the afternoon. In the air out toward left center. Going back on it to Schoenfeld, still going back. It's off the wall. Dylan Kordich hustling into second, a leadoff double for Cal Poly.
We got 99 mile an hour exit velo on that laser beam out to left field, and Dylan Kordich has acquitted himself quite well. Yesterday, solid appearance all afternoon at the plate, and he will lead off the 6th. They lead off double.
So Gravelin is now catching. just moving the pieces around, reshuffling the deck. As Saban sending Brody Kresser to first. He was playing second. Gavin Kelly is now at second base for West Virginia. And moving from right to left is Ben Lumsden, and Armani Guzman goes from first to right. 1-0 on Ryan Taman, who walked in the fourth, and a sac fly in the first. The only run for Cal Poly. And it's a strike from Hagan. So Guzman has shifted to right. Just shuffling pieces around. The old shell game right now by Steve Sabins.
Just want to mess with your scorecard, that's all.
Pretty much.
Fastball.
He wanted to frustrate us.
Fastball slider curve here from David Hagan.
Like the seventh inning of a spring training game when you got guys hopping over a side fence coming from a backfield.
Or the other part where you got the guys with the high 80s, low 90s numbers, no nameplate on the back. Look, checking the roster. Who's this guy?
Or a number that's taped on the back. Hey, we're calling you up for this game. Yeah, I'm supposed to bat fourth over here in the Double-A game. Yeah, but go on over there to the big field.
Those boys coming up, you get that meal money, big league meal money for the day.
Sharp grounded to short, handled by Matt Einish, who's one of the only Mountaineers still in the same spot. And he throws out Ryan Taman, and Cordage stays at second, one out.
Now this is a West Virginia staff that predicated all year on getting a ton of ground balls, one of the highest rates in Division I.
Just, you see the flags. There was a warning given in between innings. There's the potential for severe weather in the area here in Morgantown. And there is a storm that, as we're looking at the radar and the Doppler, it's got a lot of red and yellow in it, and some orange, which is not good.
And hopefully it will not be a lengthy amount of rain and wind, but we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, you and I walked in and I told you from last week watching it to this week, that is as stern the flags have looked, blown out to left.
Line foul by Cam Hoyland, the DH for Cal Poly. He was hit by a pitch in the first. He is 0 for 1. And I've noticed it's gotten a little bit darker above the ballpark in the skies here in Morgantown, which is also usually not a good sign. The 2-1. 3-1 on Hoyland. You can even see the ripples in the shirt of the plate umpire, Steve Mattingly, right now. That's how significant the wind is kicking up. And a jet stream out to the left field corner. 3-1 to Hoyland. Swing and a miss. And a full count. Check swing. Yes, he went around on appeal.
Well, it's not a big fastball velo-wise from David Hagan, but 17.5 inches of induced vertical break for those not initiated on that. That means the fastball is maintaining plane, and it almost can appear like it's rising to the hitter. And there's your weather. It looks like someone spilled a paint can from southeastern Ohio.
And Morgantown is dead center. Grounded to third. Tyrus Hall cranks it across to first. The Mustangs are gone after looking at the weather. Not great, Bob. Oh. And Morgantown's at the bottom of where this storm could be pushing across.
Paging Will Smith.
Yeah.
Get the mothership. Well, the hope is that it speeds. It sounds like it's moving about 40 miles an hour. We're thinking a half an hour of play time before we get inbound here, so we'll see how.
Right now appears to be the only thing that could ruin the party here in Morgantown.
Well, and you're thinking of Randy's Ridge, too. All those people with tents up there, hopefully they're batting down the hatches because it's going to be here in a hurry.
Matthew Gravlin leads off the seventh against Josh Volmerding on the mound for Cal Poly. And there's a foul back by Gravlin. And this offensive explosion started with him. In the top of the second, 1-0 Cal Poly. And a bloop double to right, which was challenged unsuccessfully by Larry Lee if it was fair or foul. It landed on the line behind first. And that's the floodgates open for the Mountaineers, and they haven't stopped. 7 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 runs in each the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings.
And remember yesterday, if you joined us, it was a 3-run homer by Sean Smith, the big blow early for the 3-0 lead. Grand slam by Tyrus Hall in the 4th.
And there's another hit, the 17th of the game for the Mountaineers. And Matthew Gravlin goes to the right field. So leadoff base runner. Mariners, Orioles coming up this Thursday at 7 Eastern from Camden Yards. Catch it on ESPN. You can also stream the game on the ESPN app.
Boy, how
Mariners might be putting it together finally.
Just was saying, they look like that team. And now with the Aaron Judge injury for the Yankees, are the Mariners the team to beat in the American League? It feels like it's getting to be that point.
We kept waiting for them. They stalled the first month and a half, 2 months of the year. They had some injuries. Cal Raleigh's been on the injured list. Julio Rodriguez wasn't really being Julio yet.
Right. Josh Naylor was off to a slow start.
But they're pitching. They have so much pitching in Seattle with, of course, Brian Wu, the former Cal Poly Mustang. Logan Gilbert, George Kirby.
The Osage veteran Luis Castillo still doing it as well. One of the most vaunted bullpens, Andres Munoz.
Castillo had a rough start too for the Mariners. Jammed in a bloop near second. Charging it. Nate Castellón has no play. And now breaking for third, and he'll get there is Gravlin. Taking advantage in the extra 90 feet for Gravlin.
Just heads up baseball, right? Anticipating that if that ball kind of squirts by Castellón, and you can kind of see where everyone fell asleep on the infield a little bit. This had funny spin, awkwardly off of the bat of Einish, and right under the glove, and kind of see him give up on it. Gravlin did not stop.
Now Brody Kresser. The pitch. That is a strike from Josh Volmerding.
How many times have you seen a 39-mile-an-hour exit velo drop in for a hit? That's putting it in a perfect spot for Einish.
1-strike pitch. Now it's grounded foul. And it's 0-2 on Kresser. All 9 West Virginia batters with at least 1 hit.
7 of the 9 with multi-hit affairs this afternoon, paced by Gavin Kelly and Ben Lumsden with 3 hits apiece.
Here's the pitch. And it's 1-2 on Brody Kresser. And the only Mountaineer that has not scored a run is Sean Smith. And you think about the Big 12 in general, with the success West Virginia's having, Kansas about to start their super regional. Maybe they got slighted a little bit by the committee.
Well, I think when Selection Monday came out, and you looked at this Morgantown regional, legitimate thought that this would be arguably the most competitive of any of the 16 regions, just with the teams that are in. Remember, Wake Forest, highest average fastball velocity in the country at 94.4. Kentucky, one of the last teams in. Remember, head coach Nick Mingione basically politicking the last 3 weeks of the season. Hey, we've at least beaten each team that we faced. They needed a win potentially in the SEC tournament just to try and solidify their spot.
Tied him up. Kresser's down swinging. And there's one away in the top of the 7th. And now Ben Lumsden coming up for West Virginia. Strike 1 to Lumsden, who has homered twice.
149 games, excuse me. But still, just ridiculous.
But you look at the Big 12. Okay, Kansas and West Virginia still alive, and both hosting supers. Arizona State went to a regional final. UCF made the field, so did Oklahoma State and Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if Kirk Saarloos and TCU's going, hey, wait a second. They were 17-13 in the Big 12. They tied with Cincinnati. They were one of the first teams out. They've got a case that, you know, we should have been in.
If you remember the beginning of the season, you know who the hot team was after the first weekend or so? It was the Horned Frogs.
Yeah.
It really was.
They had a ton of injuries this year and what they had to deal with. And selfishly, I'm a little disappointed they didn't get in. Volmerding the 1-2 to Lumsden. Runner goes from first. He went around, throw to second, now back to the plate. And the second time West Virginia has pulled off that double steal today with a run scored. 17-1.
They've got a run in the last 6 consecutive innings. And just again, no letting up for Steve Sabins and this Mountaineer offense. Again, understand why you wanted to try and go through, but I would have cut it off much earlier, knowing you just can't afford to fall behind any more than you already are.
Now it's Tyrus Hall, who is homered today. Runner at second is Einish, and a strike to Hall. But good friend of mine for a long time, David Lawn, retiring, the longtime pitching coach at TCU. As West Virginia too shy of the tournament high for runs scored, and David Lawn retiring after a great 40-year career, went to Omaha with a number of teams. Cal, Arizona among them. And their fate was sealed. They didn't get in. And then selfishly, my daughter's a freshman at TCU, so I also have
rooting interest.
Yeah, a little invested with TCU. The 1-1. 2-1 the count. But they finished 17-13 in this league, and the Big 12 is proving, you know what? We deserve more than we got.
Well, I'll tell you what was fascinating about looking at the resume for West Virginia. We always look how teams finish, right? And as good a closing crescendo as you could ask for into the final of the Big 12 tournament. Okay, no harm, no foul, not winning that. But you got the sense that if you were going to be playing a certain way, you wanted to be the way that West Virginia was playing headed into their regional. And when you host, it is such a different dynamic.
Fouled away by Tyrus Hall.
And I don't think you can overstate how important this venue has been to the success of the club. Last couple of years, again, you knock on the door, but this year, it was decidedly different with how this fan base made it a hostile environment for opposing teams to come in. We saw it all last weekend. And
another foul ball.
The never say die attitude. The Kentucky games are theater, and you can make it 30 for 30 on just the Kentucky West Virginia games this past week. I mean, there are two teams that have matched up in the last couple of postseasons. They have delivered and then some on the theatricality meter. But West Virginia has found that secret sauce, and they are just outs away from punching their ticket to Omaha.
Hall draws a walk. And back to the top of the order, Armani Guzman. We're in the 7th inning. He's coming up for a 6th time.
Well, he's been the igniter, and a guy that got his first homer of the year with this swing. Just a majestic blast into the Mountaineer bullpen. That would make it 9-1 in the 3rd, and you kind of felt at that point that might have been the eliminating swing for Cal Poly.
Strike one from Volmerding. So final in Athens, by the way, 13-12, Georgia with the win. There is mom, proud mom, I should say.
Might have been one of the best post-game interviews we've had all year.
Line foul by Guzman.
We were getting ready to sign off.
I personally thought your best work was during Country Roads. But that's just me.
I appreciate you saying that. And I'm sure the West Virginia faithful felt the same, but
Tom Hart never sounded better, by the way.
Oh, Tom, if you heard. By the way, Stefano's was great again, Tom. Great recommendation. We appreciate it. But yeah, the shout out from Armani to his mom over the dugout and that post-game interview. That's what it's all about.
1-2 the count on Guzman.
A kid from New York comes to West Virginia, puts on the headset after dramatically walking off Kentucky to punch your ticket to the Super Regional, and in unison singing Country Roads. As good as it gets.
Foul back. I think everybody's warming up right now to be full throat by the time they do sing Country Roads.
They may stand through the rain and the wind to do it.
They may hide for a bit, but they'll be back.
Yeah, they will.
Trust me, they'll be back. The 1-2. Another foul. Again, if you're just joining us, there is potential severe weather in the area. They made an announcement here at the ballpark. The skies are definitely darkening. The wind is picking up. And they will complete this game no matter what. Fouled away by Guzman.
I don't know if you can ask anything more the last 2 days if you're a Mountaineer fan of what this team has put in front of you. If you are looking at momentum, if you're looking at storylines, that team of destiny feel, boy, it feels like it is synonymous with this West Virginia group.
Bulmerding's 1-2 in the air, center field, playable for Casey Murray Jr. And he'll make the catch to retire the side. Another run for West Virginia. Stretching in Morgantown, 17-1. Cal Poly trails West Virginia. To lead off the bottom of the 7th for the Mustangs, Antonio Castro will pinch hit. And Castro, freshman from Concord, California, as he fouls this one away in the powerhouse high school De La Salle, which is known for their football.
How about as ringing an endorsement when he visited campus, said it had an energy that made me feel like I could really grow there, not just as a student or an athlete, but as a person. You mentioned the prowess and the pedigree where he came from in his high school days. Pretty great get here for Cal Poly.
0-2 on Antonio Castro. Pitch in the air to right, going back to right center, playable on the move, and Guzman able to run it down for West Virginia. Actually, that's the new right field. No, it is Guzman making the catch in right, and there's one out. When this weather finally gets to us, we will take you to game 2 between Little Rock and Troy, and to Clay Matvick and Lance Cormier. In fact, we're going to take you now as we send you to Clay Matvick in Troy, Alabama. Fouled away, a pinch hitter for Cal Poly. Xander McLaurin pinch hitting, the senior from Long Beach for Cal Poly. And those of you sticking with us, we're now on ESPNU. As a .304 hitter with a couple of homers, McLaurin is Larry Lee getting some of his guys off the bench into the game.
And if you recognize the last name, yes, he is related to Scary Terry. Terry McLaurin, NFL wide receiver.
And Xander McLaurin with a base hit to center field. And he is aboard here with one out in the last of the 7th inning. And for Cal Poly, their 6th hit. And McLaurin's dad was a hooper in Northern Illinois.
Certainly
Dad
was.
Charles.
Primary pinch hitter, Xander McLaurin is for Cal Poly. That makes him 9 for 21 coming off the bench.
Another pinch hitter for Cal Poly. Here is Braxton Thomas. One out, a runner at first, and just to add to that spring training feel.
Well, he led all of California in homers and top 5 in slug percentage as well as RBI as a high school senior.
Rolls one to third, Tyrus Hall to second. Kelly the turn, around the horn, 2 double play. Nicely turned by the Mountaineers. Well, these West Virginia fans probably still in there after all the money they spent at the concession stands here this weekend in the Souvenirs.
Well, they're saving some money for the middle of America, checking some hotels and some flights right now as Cal Poly will make another move to the bullpen. And the nation's leader in saves, Nick Bond, senior right-hander from Laguna Beach, California. If you like electric fastballs, can I interest you in a triple-digit heater from the right arm of this man? Saves in 6 straight appearances. Of course, that's not the case here, but
I mean, this is not a safe situation.
This will be trying to at least save face a little bit, but what a talent this young man is right here.
Some defensive changes. Braxton Thomas stays in to play first for Cal Poly. Antonio Castro at second, and Xander McLaurin also stays in the game to play in the outfield for the Mustangs. He is in left, and Bond with a called strike to Gavin Kelly. Kelly homered in the 5th, singled in the 1st, doubled in the 3rd. And Bond, who can light it up with the gun, and he misses outside with 99.
Named a Stopper of the Year finalist by the NCBWA. Among 14 finalists in total.
And due to the weather that's coming, our camera men and women are going to have to relocate, as there's lightning within 8 miles of the ballpark, and of course safety first, as you would expect. And so our cameras will be unmanned with the storm approaching here as we continue play, and they're going to try to play as long as they can before halting play. Nick Bond, the 2-2 on the way. And a fastball and 1 bounce to short. Speared by Nate Castellon. Throws to first, 1 out. 98 there from Bond. And it's remarkable when you watch Bond pitch how much torque he gets on that fastball, considering he is not a big guy.
How about the first 2 years at Pepperdine and Dallas Baptist, too? Just a guy that has finally found a home here at Cal Poly, and one of those arms that you could see playing at the next level, no question about it.
And Larry Lee didn't necessarily factor in Bond as his closer this year. Strike 1 as he pumped it by him. 0-1 on Paul Schoenfeld. He was a high school teammate of Griffin Ness, who started yesterday for Cal Poly and was looking for a place to come back to from Dallas Baptist. Didn't go well for him at DBU. And Jensen mentioned his first 2 years at Pepperdine, and his numbers were not great there either. And he got off to a relatively slow start with the Mustangs this year. But then something kicked in, and he has been lights out ever since. And he ran with that closer's job for Cal Poly.
It was pretty remarkable to see when you look at just some of the underlying statistics for Nick Bond. Anytime you can get it to triple digits, you're going to catch the eyes of all 30 major league teams, and you would think that he's going to be a force with that kind of arsenal at the next level.
Slider in the air to right. Going back on it is Dylan Kordich. He'll make the play shy of the track for out number 2. And now our NCAA rep has come onto the field, and they're going to halt play as the storm is getting too close to the ballpark, and they want it to be safe for all involved. And with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th, we have entered a weather delay here in Morgantown. 17-1, West Virginia leading with 2 outs in the 8th. We will keep you updated as the afternoon progresses, but we are in a weather delay with 2 outs in the top of the 8th of Game 2 of this Super Regional, with West Virginia up 17-1. Updates coming, but for now, play is halted here in Morgantown in the top half of the 8th inning. And again, we'll keep you updated as this afternoon progresses. But now we have blue sky. The storm has moved through, and we're going to resume play with Josh Morano on the mound. 2 outs, top of the 8th. Nobody on. And the 6th pitcher for Cal Poly today, and Morano pitching briefly in Game 1 yesterday.
Transfer from Arizona last year. Again, one of the more reliable bullpen arms here for head coach Larry Lee. And he will try and get Cal Poly back to the bat rack, down a significant margin here in about the 90-minute layoff. Now West Virginia, it's just delaying what feels like the inevitable here. A win for them, and they will punch their ticket to Omaha.
It'll be their first appearance at the College World Series. And for West Virginia, a win today also would give them a new season best win total of 45. As Zahir Barjam pinch hitting, a freshman from the Dominican Republic, here with 2 outs in the top of the 8th, batting for Sean Smith, the DH. Josh Morano, and it's fouled back by Barjam.
One of the top prep shortstops in South Carolina, as you mentioned, from the DR, and has usually been in a pinch hit role. He had that effect in the Morgantown Regional.
0-2 the count, swing and a miss. West Virginia, 5 home runs, 18 hits in the game, and 5 home runs, and also 9 stolen bases.
8 extra base hits. It has been just an absolute ridiculous output. Both these games, yesterday and today, it was haymakers from the West Virginia attack. Home runs early and often, and they have made it big deficits for Cal Poly both afternoons.
Here's the pitch, and it's 2-2 on Barjam. The 9 stolen bases, by the way, by the Mountaineers today, 1 off an NCAA tournament record. 10 is the record, which has been done 4 times. Here's the ball deep to left field from Barjam. If it's fair, it's gone. It is foul. Took a bite out of somebody's car, it looks like, across the street.
Well, for what's left here, and there are plenty of faithful remaining, knowing what is at stake here. This is maybe by a foot, maybe. I mean, we had enough rain. That one almost brought some more here in the West Virginia bench.
That one cranked just foul.
Oh.
He doesn't have a home run this year. The pitch, pop foul, back behind the plate. And after the lengthy delay, stands are full.
He's trying to Carlton Fisk it a little bit, little body English. Barjam just a foot shy of more heroics.
Got him with the changeup, and Barjam strikes out, and the side is retired. That was a long half inning.
Yes, it was.
And they went 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th, top of the order for Cal Poly. 3rd straight Super Regional for the Mountaineers, but a chance to break through, and they have dominated Cal Poly this weekend. Ian Korn is the new pitcher for the Mountaineers. And a called strike to Nate Castellon, leading off the bottom of the 8th.
A couple of appearances in the Morgantown Regional. It's been kind of a Swiss Army knife. Both the starter, reliever, was pressed into duty, Roxy, for people that did not see the Morgantown Regional, when Max Yale could not escape the 1st inning on Saturday. It was a yeoman's work in relief.
Grounded to first, handled. And Brody Kresser skipped to the bag. 1 out here in the last of the 8th.
And Korn was the D2 National Player of the Year a year or so ago, and And the resume is pretty good.
That is not a misprint. He went to Seton Hill.
Yes.
Just in case you were wondering. A Division II school up in Pennsylvania. Alejandro Garza, and it's ball one from Ian Korn. Some people might make that mistake, just assuming it's Seton Hall.
The autocorrect, if you're not careful on your sheet, that'll get you.
Here's the 1-0. Popped up. This is pushing toward foul ground and does get out of play onto that grassy berm over there. 1-1 on Garza, 0 for 3 in the game. And Alejandro Garza, the junior, who became the all-time hits leader in Cal Poly history last weekend. In the regional in LA, driven foul, and Cal Poly escaped the regional, had the #1 team in the country. They never played UCLA, as the Bruins lost their opening game to St. Mary's, then beat Virginia Tech before losing again to the 4 seed, St. Mary's Gales. Struck him out, 2 gone.
Well, Korn wasting no time, sensing the moment. A long time to wait, but a beautiful job with the breaking ball off the outside corner. Gets a little free air conditioning as Garza goes down swinging. You mentioned Cal Poly's prowess just a week ago. Hit .310 as a team. They had just 1 error in the field. We make mention of, again, outscoring their opponents 25-5. The tables have turned massively on them here in Morgantown.
Ran into a buzzsaw here in Morgantown. A juggernaut in West Virginia. Dylan Kordich 2 for 3, a single and a double. And it's now 0-2 on Kordich. And the senior, what could be the final at bat of his college career. He's had a really good run with Cal Poly. And he flares one out to right center, and that is a hit in a 3-hit game for Dylan Kordich, who struggled last weekend despite the success the team was having in his 3rd year at Cal Poly, and Kordich is on here with 2 outs in the last of the 8.
And you said 0 for 15 with 6 punch outs back in the LA Regional. It has been anything but that. One of the bright spots in this Mustangs lineup, the Super Regional, even better, 5 for 8, a homer and a run driven in.
Now it's Ryan Taman, and he's swinging a miss, 0-1 the count. 0 for 1 in the game with a walk and a sac fly, driving in the only run for the Mustangs in the first. And this is more than likely his final college at bat, as the junior catcher is very highly thought of by the major league team.
He is definitely their best pro hitting prospect, and what a year it has been for him. Co-Big West Player of the Year. Incredible run.
1-2 the count on Taman. First year at Cal Poly, 2 years at Cal, where he was stuck in a logjam with some really good catchers there. Caleb Lomavita was a high pick by the Washington Nationals a couple of years ago. The pitch, and it just missed wide. 2-2 the count. And the fans are still locked in, despite the lengthy delay.
They have waited some decades for the opportunity to be here. You knew no rain or storm would drive them away.
Struck him out. Ian Korn, a couple of punch outs in the bottom of the 8th. 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the 9th. 17-1 West Virginia. Matthew Gravlin leads off the 9th against Josh Morano. Couple of hits for Gravlin in the ball game. 17 runs, 18 hits, no errors. A run, 7 hits, and no errors for Cal Poly. Changeup waved at and missed. And it's 1-1 on Gravlin, who got the scoring going today. He was the igniter with that bloop double in the second when way back Cal Poly had a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and I think that's the other part of it is what you needed to have in an elimination scenario. If you're the Mustangs, early offense, and Carson Turnquist, their best pitching prospect, came out with a flourish, wanted all that smoke from the West Virginia faithful, made it stand up for an inning. They staked him to a lead, but then the absolute monsoon of the Mountaineer offense ensued with a 7th spot in the second.
2-2 the count on Gravlin. Certainly a disappointing weekend for Cal Poly. They had high hopes in a super regional for the first time in the history of the program. 5th NCAA tournament appearance at the Division I level. Reaching for it, a bouncer to second. And the second baseman in a good stretch at first by Braxton Thomas, as Antonio Castro ranging up the middle, 1 out.
You mentioned the momentum of this Mustang program. And one of the unique parts of the college game now, and we're all inundated with NIL and trying to have a race to the top.
And the transfer portal.
Yeah, what a neat project that Cal Poly has from some of their key alumni. Project Omaha. It's a scholarship fundraising campaign to help elevate the Mustang program. They're set to raise $5 million in scholarship funds. A dynamic change to how the team can recruit and retain their talent. As we all know, Roxy, we've seen plenty of mid-major programs where you kind of need the funding, you need some help. And their goal is $10 million in scholarship dollars over 5 years. Already this year, with those funds raised, about $2.5 million in, and head coach Larry Lee's been able to dip into that fund. It's helped to support some of the incoming players. They have been able to replace their starting catcher, Sunday starter, and closer, all thanks to Project Omaha and what it provides.
Breaking ball gets away from Josh Morano as Matt Einish down to first. Here with 1 out in the 9th. That'll bring up Brody Kresser. With a pinch hitter, though, hitting for Kresser. And this will be Brock Wills to pinch hit. The senior from Holly Springs, North Carolina, transfer from UNC Wilmington.
Just to put a bow on that Project Omaha, alums Robin Baggett, who the home stadium, I believe, is named after. Jason Novi, they head the project. Both were intent on maintaining the success that this program has had, not only with the Big West title, but this NCAA playoff run.
Liner to right. Another hit for West Virginia. Einish stops at second. And a pitch hit single delivered by Brock Wills, and another first pitch hit for West Virginia.
And another transfer making an impact here on the West Virginia roster. Second team All-CAA. He was a consensus top 200 player in the draft out of high school. And as Steve Saban starts to empty the bench here to get as many of these guys an opportunity to take the field, what a great swing right there.
Another pinch hitter. This is Maxwell Melessa. Redshirt freshman hitting is Ryan Taman, the co-Big West Player of the Year this year, the leader of this Cal Poly offense. And doing yeoman's work behind the plate as it's fouled off by Melessa. 14 at bats for Melessa. It's 4 for 14 this year. And Ryan Taman. And Cal Poly wasn't exactly sure what they were going to get with Taman when they got him. Played some, not a ton, while he was at Cal over 2 years. And coming back close to home, and he found himself plugged right in the middle of this lineup and the backbone behind the plate.
It's one of the uniqueness of that part, as you well know. There in California, you're going north, you're going south, but you don't usually stay in slow. And to retain one of the best products to come out of that spot in the country in quite a while, what a boon for the Mustangs.
2-2 the count. But in between LA and San Francisco, where you have Cal and Stanford up in the Bay Area, and USC and UCLA down in LA, there's some success when you look at Cal Poly, UC Santa Barbara. Those two schools kind of sandwiched in between, where Jackson Flora, with the Gauchos, the Big West Player of the Year, is probably going to be the first college pitcher drafted. Strike 3 call. Good pitch from Morano on the outside edge. And there's 2 outs here in the 9th.
Good fastball, good life from the lefty. And good pitch presentation. Yep, there's going to be a strike either way. And 2 down here for Cal Poly.
Now it's Tyrus Hall. But a Cal Poly team, 39 wins, back-to-back Big West tournament championships. And the Big West bringing the tournament back last year. And Cal Poly's won them both. Flared to right, over toward the line. Dylan Kordich will get there to make the catch, and the side is retired. 1 hit, 2 left. Dylan Kordich and Cal Poly. Just 3 outs left in their season. Some changes here in the bottom of the ninth for the Mountaineers. Armani Guzman goes back to first base. Brock Wills, who pinch hit, is now in right. And the new left fielder is Maxwell Melessa. Ben McDougal will try to close it out. And the senior from West Virginia will start the ninth for the Mountaineers.
A hometown kid. He's got experience in this department already, if you remember. Last year, closing out the Clemson Regional in the huge comeback against Kentucky.
Cam Hoyland will lead it off for Cal Poly. And it's ball one for McDougal. Hoyland 0 for 2 in the game. The pitch in the air, left center, roaming over. It's Paul Schoenfeld. 1 out in the ninth.
Apropos that he would get one of the defensive outs after it was his swing that capped the comeback on Sunday night in the Morgantown Regional to give them a chance on Game 7 Monday night. What a player he's been.
Now it's the senior Casey Murray Jr. He's had a nice run with Cal Poly. And more than likely his final at bat. Second team All Big West this year and a Defensive Player of the Year in the Big West Conference. His third year at Cal Poly. 1-1. West Virginia. Majority of the fans have stayed, looking to see history. And what a monumental day it'll be, not just for West Virginia baseball, but the university, the community, and the entire state of West Virginia.
Incredible what they've built. Steve Saban's taking over for Randy Mazey in his final season, able to burst through the door into their first Super Regional berth to 2024 in Chapel Hill. It did not end the way they hoped, but they found a way to believe.
Strike 3 call to Murray. He's gone looking. 1 out away, the Mountaineers, for being the first entrant to Omaha for 2026.
A season ago, they punched their ticket to Supers with a massive comeback in the Clemson Regional over Kentucky. They would fall to the eventual national champion LSU Tigers in Baton Rouge. LSU didn't even make the tournament this year. And West Virginia a chance to stamp their mark on an incredible run.
Ball 1 to Antonio Castro. Right now, he's all that's standing in the way of a huge party in Morgantown. Over under on how many couches get burned here tonight.
It's high.
Out of play. 1-1 the count on Castro. Everybody standing around the ballpark. Frustrating weekend for Cal Poly in West Virginia. Ready to storm the field. 2-1 on Castro. Three and 1 now on Antonio Castro.
Well, it's been Ben McDougal who had so many critical outs in relief in the Morgantown Regional.
And now Cal Poly is down to their last strike.
They will rise as one in Morgantown.
Three and 2. Ben McDougal. The pitch. Strike him out. Country roads meets Omaha. Somewhere in middle America, here come the Mountaineers.
the road to Omaha will have Mountaineer faithful on it, and history in West Virginia.